This is ESPN on ABC.
You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
We are in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Should be a perfect day for college football as we welcome you in to the Ram Trucks kickoff the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. Kentucky taking on Iowa. Big Ten versus SEC, a pair of 7 and 5 teams who are looking to take today's game, build on the future with a couple of young teams looking to make a statement here on New Year's Eve. And with that, welcome in Louis Riddick, Matt Berry alongside. Happy New Year, Louis.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year to you. Tell you what, we are sitting here on the final day of 2022 celebrating college football. We expect this game, Louis, is going to be entertaining for several reasons. If you like defense, if you like young quarterbacks, if you like running the ball, stick with us the next 3 hours. Let's start with Iowa for a second. Coming in, they have the longest tenured coach in FBS, Kirk Ferentz, 24 years the head coach of the Hawkeyes. Louis, someone you're incredibly familiar with.
Yeah, look, I've known Kirk for a long time. He was the offensive line coach when I was with the Cleveland Browns back in the early 90s under Bill Belichick, around guys like Nick Saban, Ozzie Newsome. Kirk, we talked about those guys. We reminisced a little bit, went down memory lane when we talked yesterday. This is a no-nonsense program builder. He's a guy who knows, look, he cannot really recruit in the same waters that some of the other FBS schools do. He doesn't have his roster littered with a bunch of 4- and 5-star players. Some of these guys, 2-, 3-star players. He'll get the occasional top-level player, but what he really hangs his hat on is developing and utilizing players, meaning developing them physically and mentally, and then utilizing them by putting them in good positions with good coaching and putting them in positions to win games. Based on his record over the past 24 years, I would say Kirk's doing a hell of a job.
How good is Kirk Ferentz? 21 of the last 22 years he has made the Hawkeyes bowl eligible. They do it with defense just every single year. Louis, you can bet Iowa is going to have a good defensive team. They had that again. They've held 8 opponents to 10 or less points this season. It's a team that does it, and it's led by Jack Campbell, one of 6 players that made all Big Ten.
Yeah, look, this is a team that is all about alignment, assignment, technique, and execution. That's really are the hallmarks of defensive play, and Jack Campbell is the guy who really epitomizes that. They have players at all 3 levels. They have about 8 defensive linemen that you'll see in this game that can all wreck shop. And they have some secondary players, my favorite being number 33, Riley Moss, who I think is one of the best athletes in all of college football. This guy is a champion high hurdler. He's just got tremendous athletic ability. And when you talk about Jack Campbell, look, how many times do you go in and talk to a program where every single person says, this guy is too good to be true?
That's right.
And we mean that with everything that we say in terms of his humbleness, his willingness to work and always improve, his willingness to take hard coaching, but most importantly, how good he plays on the football field. He is a prototype Mike linebacker that plays downhill. I know you hear that phrase a lot, but it's because he plays physical attacks the line of scrimmage and uses that 6'5", 250-pound body to play with great range, as you see right here, making plays outside the college numbers. Look, there's a reason why this young man is the Butkus Award winner. This young man is first-team All-American. He's a Campbell Award winner. He's the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He can do it all, and you will see 31 do it all today for 3.5 hours.
That's our Ram Trucks player profile, the first Iowa Hawkeye to ever win the Butkus Award, which is saying something with some of the lineage they've had here play for Iowa. On the other side, you've got Kentucky. They come in 7 and 5, just like Iowa. Mark Stoops, 10 years as head coach of this Kentucky program. And when you look at program builder and someone who took a job that was historically with a program that didn't win a lot of football games, he's got 10-win seasons, and he's got Kentucky in a bowl game for the 7th consecutive year.
Yeah, what's most impressive about Mark Stoops is how much he values relationships and communication, and he has really developed that over the years as one of the better defensive back coaches in college football at the stops that he has been at, and now he takes it from a 30,000-foot view and applies it to the entire football team, the entire football operation. He's one of the more impressive guys to talk to as far as having his finger on the pulse of college football overall, Matt, how it's changing with NIL, some of the things that he likes, that he doesn't like about it, but he's accepted it. He's accepted, look, these are the rules we have to play with. You can see some of the recruits that he's getting right now that are top-level recruits. This program is here to stay.
There's a reason his name is always rumored with open vacancies, but he is happy in Lexington. As for the quarterback, we know Will Levis has opted out. We know highly coveted Devin Leary is on his way in. Neither of those quarterbacks will play today. As for who will start at quarterback for the Wildcats, we checked in with him.
Happy New Year. It is a local product. Destin Wade, he's from here in Nashville. He told me he's incredibly excited for the opportunity just to play football today in this bowl game, but the fact that he's able to do it at home here in Nashville is a massive deal to him. I asked him how many of his friends and family would be here. He told me he's expecting up to at least 100 people to be in the stands with him, supporting him for this game. When I talked to him about his preparation, he told me he's more excited than nervous. He said those nervous feelings are going to go away when the game starts. He said football's football. This is going to be a game he's going to try to have fun. It's something that Will Levis has told him in the weeks leading up to this game. Even with the preparation, helping him get ready to communicate and call plays, he says just go out there and have fun. And when I spoke with Barry and Brown, who's also from Nashville, he's actually known Destin Wade since he was a sophomore in high school. He said their chemistry is great, and when I told him, hey, what do you expect out of him? He said, hey, this is a guy that's going to put on a show. There's no better time to do it than today.
Yeah, and you know, Harry, one of the special parts about bowl games now in this day and age in college football, the young guys are going to get an opportunity to show what they had. Destin Wade, one of those freshmen, along with other freshmen that are going to be playing. Look, the brothers back from the day, both Keaton and Destin Wade, we saw a bunch of Pop Warner players run out of the field prior to the game, Lewis. The Wade brothers were one of those back in the day in 2015 when they were here for the Music City.
I mean, how cool is that? And I can just tell you this, both of them have grown a little bit since 2015. Destin Wade is as good looking as it gets at the quarterback position. Stands about 6'3", about 220 pounds. Just remember this. This guy ran for 2,300 yards and 30 touchdowns. 2,300 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns last year as a senior in high school. I think we'll expect him to run the ball today.
Listen, I know what they're saying about the point total. We expect fun either way. You're watching the Ram Trucks kickoff the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl coming up next from Nashville, Iowa and Kentucky on ABC. You are watching the Ram Trucks kickoff here on ABC, Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, downtown Nashville. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles with you. Hope everyone had a fantastic holiday season. We'll try to get you out of here on a good note. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, Kentucky and Iowa. We just mentioned a second ago, young Destin Wade getting his first career start for the Kentucky Wildcats. And Lewis, the same is going to go for Joe Labus, who is going to get the start for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Spencer Petras injured. He will not play today. Alex Padilla, he's in the transfer portal. Cade McNamara is on his way in, but it's going to be the young man Labus who gets the start for the Hawkeyes.
Dual threat quarterback is the phrase of the day, because that's what both of these guys are. And look, Joe Labus, he will tell you himself, what's the number one thing, if you ask him, what's the number one thing you do best? He says it's extend plays. It's the off-schedule plays. I can make things happen when there's nothing there, when the structure of the play breaks down. They need that in Iowa. They need a playmaker. They need someone else to go along with running back Caleb Johnson, to go along with tight end Sam Laporta. I'm excited for Joe Labus. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain today. I hope he just lets it all hang out today.
Very similar story. I mentioned a second ago, Devin Leary on his way in for Kentucky, Cade McNamara on his way in from Michigan to Iowa. So both of these young quarterbacks, an opportunity today in the bowl game. Iowa won the toss. They elected to defer. The kick goes into the end zone. And that's where we'll get Kentucky's offense first out. We'll get a good look at Destin Wade early, the true freshman from right here in Nashville, getting the start in front of his friends and family.
Again, this young man, he is a phenom. When you watch his high school tape, I mean, obviously he's playing against kids that aren't playing at FBS college football schools, but I will tell you this guy can run, he can throw it, he has a nice deep ball. It's just a matter of getting him comfortable right now, and one of the quickest ways to get him comfortable is to put the ball in his hands and let him do what he does best.
A lot of young freshman talent for Kentucky. Barry and Brown, Dane Key, against that staunch Iowa defense. Wade, quick throw to the outside. Tavian Robinson early on, and Tavian does a nice job. And Lewis, there's an example. High percentage pass, get your young quarterback in a little bit of the rhythm.
Yeah, just get the completion, see the ball go through the net, so to speak, and using the basketball terminology, and just get him comfortable.
So gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Play fake to Wade, keeps his eyes down the left side, over the middle. That's a good catch by Dane Key, one of those true freshmen I had talked about, and that's going to be a first down for Kentucky, gain of 15.
The coaching staff said he had developed a nice rapport with this young wide receiver core, Dane Keene being one of them. Dane is more the possession contested catch guy. Barry and Brown, number 2, who you'll also see. He's a guy who's got blazing speed, led the team in receptions and yardage. That's a nice start for young Destin Wade.
You'll see Jatan McClain in the backfield. Chris Rodriguez and Cavassier Smoke, both opt-outs. That's Barry and Brown, the young Nashville native that Harry talked about. A good job by the Hawkeyes defense to get to him right away. And a loss of 3, John Wagner on the tackle.
Yeah, look, this Hawkeye defensive front, they have about 8 guys, 9 guys that they will rotate through here on a regular basis. And you are going to get everything that you earn, not what you get cheaply with this defense. They do not give up big plays on a regular basis. Very fundamentally sound. And they will be up against it, the Kentucky offensive line, blocking this front today.
Just giving up 277 yards per game. And a lot of these stars who could have opted out are here, and that's a tipped pass by Sebastian Castro, and a good job by the safety to read the throw, bat it down, bring it up 3rd and 13.
Here you're going to see defensive coordinator Phil Parker just decides to dial up a little bit of pressure, bringing Castro off the edge. And you can see Castro is one of those guys who will play back deep, can play the strong safety position, can play down in the box. They can move him all over the place. You see him now, they're in sub-defense. He plays what they call the star position, the nickel position. Blitzer, tackler, cover, he can do a little bit of everything. Just like the rest of the guys in this Iowa defense.
Early 3rd and long for the true freshman quarterback. Wade pressured, able to get away from it, but not for long. And Iowa's defense is going to force an early punt after a gain of 3. Seth Benson led the way, and that's exactly how Iowa wanted to start this game.
Yeah, you're just going to see pressure on the inside. You're going to see here Seth Benson. They're going to try and get some pressure right up the gut. You see Jack Campbell coming as well on a little bit of what you would call a cross stunt, and just try and make it uncomfortable for the young freshman as far as his sight lines and make him panic and pull the ball down. That's typical Iowa defense right there. Real good 3rd down execution.
Cooper DeJean back to receive the punt from Wilson Berry. He's going to fair catch it at the 21-yard line. So one young quarterback got his opportunity. And here's what I love about Joe Labus getting his start from Brecksville, Ohio. He has been the scout team quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And what did they all tell us? He was a scout team star, and he drove our defense nuts.
Yeah, look, I've been in those situations where the scout team quarterback just says, look, I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to play loose and play free. And as a defense, you're sitting there going, look, this guy's actually pretty good. Let's just see if he can take that and that attitude and bring it here to where he has to play a little bit more in structure, obviously, but play a little bit carefree and add some excitement to this offense, which it desperately needs.
That's Ragaini in motion. Play fake early on for Labus across the middle. Get him out of the pocket. Deontay Vines. And how about that for a start for the young quarterback, getting out of the pocket, the 1st down gain of 11.
And that's one of the first things they'll tell you about Labus is he's very comfortable on the move. And he can throw on the move right or left. He has some impressive throws in his high school tape, moving to his left, throwing back across his body, and he can pull it down and run it too now. That's a nice start for both of these young freshmen on a big stage here in the bowl game.
Another freshman in the backfield, that's Caleb Johnson. We'll talk about him all afternoon, an exciting young running back. And again, naked boot to the right side. Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends in Iowa history. He's another guy that could have opted out. He tore his meniscus November 19th, but Lewis, you know what he said? I want one more in the black and gold.
Look, Sam Laporta is as good a tight end as there is in college football. Offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz, he's coached some good ones. You ever heard of Rob Gronkowski? He said the difference between Sam Laporta and Rob Gronkowski is the fact that Sam is just not 6'5". He doesn't have the same kind of physical measurables, but as far as being a route runner, short hands, tough blocker, he can do it all, and he'll have a nice NFL career.
From the university that gave us Kittle, Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Clark. You play tight end at Iowa, you know what you're doing. There's another one, Luke Lachey, and another 1st down. How about the play calling early?
Hey.
Get the play fake, get the tight end, and get some yards, gain of 12.
I was just about to say that, Matt. Look, you're going to see him right here. You're going to see Luke Lachey on the tight end middle screen. Look, offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz right now is in a nice rhythm. He is just giving it real simple to Joe Labus as far as the execution is concerned. And here you see the tight ends. Look at just look at some of the names.
It's ridiculous.
Here. Look at some of the names right there. And you see right now already he's got Laporta and Lachey at touches already. This is going to be a tight end, running back, quarterback-centric game.
And a designed run there for Labus. You know what? That was probably a good thing for him. What did the coaches say? Look, he started off pretty well, but they wanted to get him hit early, and Jacquez Jones and Deion Walker obliged after a gain of 3.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take too many shots like that. This defense for Kentucky can bring it. Now, they have some fantastic athletes at the linebacker position. You just mentioned one of them, Jacquez Jones. Keep your eye on number 32, Trevin Wallace. Folks, you want to talk about an absolute freak show of an athlete? Wait till we read some of the things that this guy can do athletically. You will see 32 all over the field today.
We gave you the bona fides of Iowa's defense. Kentucky, 19.1 points a game. That's 12th in FBS. That's Ragaini on the end around. There goes Nico, pushed out of bounds by Trevin Wallace. And Ragaini made Iowa fans happy earlier in the week. He's going to be around for his 6th year of eligibility, announcing for the Hawkeyes. And so he's that veteran presence Iowa needs from the receivers that only return guys with a combined 51 receptions, Lewis, coming into the game with a couple of opt-outs and transfers.
He's the juice guy. He's the high-effort guy. When I asked Coach Kirk Ferentz about him, I said, is that him? Is that the guy? He said, that's absolutely him. He's the guy who provides the energy, the extra effort plays.
3rd and 2. Johnson stutter steps, tries to bounce it outside, and it's going to be 4th down. Nice job by Wallace to get Caleb Johnson an early decision. I would imagine, based on how this drive started, Kirk Ferentz will go for it here, kind of in no man's land on the field.
Yeah, you can see there, outside linebacker J.J. Weaver doing a nice job of getting knocked back at the line of scrimmage and making Caleb Johnson have to stop and start his feet. And then you see the athleticism of the linebacker core flowing over the top, able to finish off the play. But that all started because of the play of J.J. Weaver up front.
So 4th and 2, LaShawn Williams in the backfield, his first appearance. Labus to throw. Quick out route, tipped and incomplete. Intended for Laporta, and that was Jordan Lovett. And early on, Iowa with momentum. Kentucky's defense able to force the turnover on downs. So just as we promised, young quarterbacks and defense. Kentucky with the ball when we come back to the TransPerfect Music City. Welcome back to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Lewis, I was all set to read you a stat today that for the first time in the 25-year history of this bowl game, it was going to rain. It's not. Sun's out, guns out. It's also New Year's Eve, college football semifinals, Verbo Fiesta Bowl, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The nightcap, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. What a great day of college football we have for you getting started here in Nashville. So 1st down and 10, ball at the 33, 2nd possession for Wade in Kentucky. Good job out of the pocket for Wade. It's Berrien Brown, the other true freshman and Nashville native. Gain of 6, brought down by DeJean.
Well, that's what these young quarterbacks like to do. They like to move. They like to get out on the run. And really what it does, it puts fear in defenses when you see a great athlete out on the perimeter that's a dual threat like that. The more you can get them on the move, the better, especially against this Iowa defense that is just so fundamentally sound.
What did Coach Stoops tell us about Wade? He said the team responded to him. A lot of time when you've got to choose a quarterback, the team typically will choose it for you and a run up the gut. That was McClain on the carry and a gain of 2. And so with the bowl practices, Kaya Sharon, the other Kentucky quarterback, he's seen time, but it was Wade who won the job because of his ability to freelance and make this offense go.
Yeah, look, I mean, the coaches are very much so in tune to how the rest of the team responds to their leader, that being the quarterback. And this team responds to Destin Wade, and you're right, just as you just alluded to. He has that extra factor. And this is where this extra factor comes into play on these 3rd and short type of situations, because if it's not there for him, use your athletic ability to pick up the 1st down.
Wade to throw, looks over the middle, gets just enough for the 1st down. That caught by Key. And a gain of 4.
Just a nice job of Dane Key finding the soft spot in zone coverage and Destin Wade putting it on him. Does Destin Wade look like somebody who's making his first career start? Does he look like somebody who's going up against the 6th best defense in college football in terms of points per game allowed? No, he does not.
I'll take it one step forward. Scott Woodward calling ball plays today for Kentucky, because Rich Scangarella was relieved of his duties after one season as offensive coordinator. There's a lot of newness with this team today. Going to take a shot. Has Brown, and a great job in coverage by Sebastian Castro to get his hand up there and knock away the good throw by Wade.
Look, I thought this one was going to be 6, but just watch Sebastian Castro playing outside leverage. He knows he's got to get on his horse and go because Barry and Brown can fly. This ball's a little bit underthrown, which allows Castro to come up and punch the pocket just like he does right there. He reads the eyes and the hands of the wide receiver perfectly, celebrates a little bit, but I'll tell you this. If Destin Wade lays that ball out there, that may be 6. So they've got it dialed up. They know exactly what they want to do with him. They haven't turned him loose as a runner yet, but this young man is looking good so far.
Wade, the keeper, that's his ability. They could do that with him. And Lewis, I think that's kind of the wrinkle, and this goes for both quarterbacks. These young freshmen, more mobile than the veteran starters that they've taken over for.
Yeah, and this adds juice. We talk about it at the college level, at the pro level, about how much more difficult it makes it for defenses when your quarterback is a threat, when you have to defend all 11 in the run game, how the numbers then kind of add up in your favor offensively. Destin Wade brings that. No discredit to Will Levis, but this guy's a different type of player, and I think we're going to see the benefits of it as this game goes on.
3rd and 3. Wade to fake it. Iowa's stingy defense is there. Seth Benson, the first man.
That's a great job by Iowa's defense of playing sound, fundamental defense. You see they have someone to account for the dive. They have someone, the linebackers flowing over the top. They set the edge. You see Jack Campbell scraping over the top. This is a defense, look, again, you're going to earn everything you get with them. Kentucky had a nice shot play to Barry and Brown that could have potentially been 6, but Sebastian Castro makes a nice play on it.
DeJean back to field, the punt inside the 10. He's going to go for it. Makes a couple of men miss. Look at Cooper DeJean get a block. DeJean to the outside. Has a crease across the 35. Knocked out at the 38-yard line. And it was Wilson Berry, the punter, who knocked him out. A punt of 40. A return of 33. We'll get that Hawkeyes offense when we come back. Still zeros here in Nashville.
The TransPerfect Music City Bowl on ABC is brought to you by TransPerfect, simplified global business, and in part by Gaylord Opryland Resort. Everything in one place so you can have it all.
What a great city, downtown Nashville, Broadway Street, the Music City. So many country music stars launched their career. I did my part to make sure to pay my respects to those on Broadway Street a couple days ago. It was always fun to see the Iowa and Kentucky fans out there. And the one thing that I learned, Lewis, early on, that long neck ice cold beer never broke my heart.
Is that right? You like long necks, huh? I'm not a beer guy, man. I'm sorry, but
a diamond ring and a football team sure has broke this boy's heart. That's enough. That's Caleb Johnson. You know, you talk about another young freshman. I think that's the theme of this bowl game. Some of the young players. This kid, Caleb Johnson, 3 100-yard games this season, most by an Iowa freshman running back ever.
When I talked to running backs coach Liddell Betts, the former Washington Commanders running back in the early 2000s when I was working there, and he said, look, we just need to get him to consistently run behind his pads and run with physicality as he showed right there, because he has breakaway speed, sweet feet, so smooth. This kid is the future, and he's going to be a star.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Davis across the middle to Nico Ragaini. We are aware that for the last 4 years it was Nico Ragaini, but the Iowa personnel said, you know what, he came up to it this year and apologized and said, it's Ragaini now.
That's what I'm saying.
It's Ragaini.
You're on top of it, baby.
So I'll tell you what.
You're on top of it.
If he can change his name, we're going to call it how he wants it. And mama.
I might change my name.
Nico Ragaini, Matt Berea, Lewis, write it.
This is a big third down here.
LaShawn Williams back in the ball game. That's Vines in motion. Fake to Vines. Labus trying to get outside the pocket. Finds Williams. Tries to stutter step his way past the Kentucky defense. And those linebackers do a great job, led by De'Aric Jackson. And it's going to bring up a gain of 2 and another 4th down.
But that's just a nice job by Jordan Wright, the outside linebacker. You're going to see him get up the field and get in the face of Labus and really distort the timing and rhythm of this play. See, if he can get that ball out quickly to LaShawn Williams, maybe he's able to catch and run and pick up the first down. But that's just good team defense. And when you think of the fact that Jordan Wright is 6'5" and has that long wingspan, those are the kind of plays. And look, they said Jordan Wright always comes up with big plays over the course of a game. That's the kind of big play that the Kentucky coaching staff was talking about.
Tory Taylor, one of the better punters in the country, and he just saw one. That's what Iowa does. They play defense and they punt. If you don't like it, sorry. There's beauty in it, Lewis. I mean, that thing checked up like a pitching wedge. Cooper DeJean down there to down it at the 1. Give me some Tory Taylor. Hey, Pat McAfee, that's for you. We glorify punters on our broadcast.
Cooper DeJean doing it all.
The college football playoff semifinals tonight on ESPN Deportes, and the @2 Michigan taking on TCU in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. My hometown out there in Arizona. Then it's #1 Georgia taking on 4th-ranked Ohio State. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the winner plays the national championship January 9th. I love this matchup between Michigan and TCU. You've got Michigan's defense. You got Duggan and TCU's offense. Max Duggan, a Heisman finalist. This, to me, collision of styles. It's going to be a fun one in the early playoff game.
Well, what do you believe? You believe good offense beats good defense? Is that what you believe?
Maybe I believe in the hypnotone.
You know what's
that
interesting?
hypnotone.
I heard some people talking about the fact that, hey, TCU isn't all finesse, that they can play the physical game too. I guess we going to find out. Because you know that's who Michigan is. That's who Michigan believes that they need to be, that they want to be. And man, they seem like they're on a mission this year. They really do. I kind of like this new version of Coach Harbaugh. I really do. I'm pulling for him. See what happens.
Sonny Dykes in his first year as head coach of TCU. What a remarkable story it's been. But now Destin Wade and the Kentucky offense pinned at their own 2 after the terrific punt. That's Jaton McClain running off the left side. Tackled by Lee.
Well, Jack Campbell really makes this play, although he didn't make the play. When we talk about key and diagnose for linebackers and how fast they get off the spot, this guy was downhill quickly and got this ball turned inside to his pursuit. And look, you're going to see this over and over again with him as far as how smart he plays because of his eyes being in the place they need to be. And it just makes him all the more productive. And this is why this guy is the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
So just a gain of 1. Wade under center. And again, Jaton McClain on the carry. Let's check in with Harry.
Yeah, Lewis, you talk about Jack Campbell. I asked him this week what he was looking forward to most in today's game, and he told me just having the opportunity to have one last chance to play with his teammates is it for him. He said he always dreamed of playing college football, and he said it's been a great ride for him. It's been everything he envisioned it being, and he's excited to put that black and gold on one last time. When we asked Kirk Ferentz about his place among the players he's coached in his 2 decades at Iowa, he said you can't get better than Jack Campbell. Everything he does is exceptional. He added that he always tells the younger guys, if you're trying to learn how to do it, just look at Jack and you'll be all right.
So many stars defensively for both teams that could have opted out, wanted to play. We will celebrate them. 3rd and 7. You see Wade trying to get out, and a nice job on the tackle. Tell you what, Sebastian Castro has had himself a first quarter.
He sure has. Because look, he kept Destin Wade from picking up the first right there. Because there you saw, you're going to see Castro right here. You can see him just playing the flat. They're just playing basically like a 3 deep or a 2 high type of shell. And you're going to see Castro get off the block and just make the low, short tackle, chopping out the legs of Destin Wade, who was on his way to picking up a first down. But I'm telling you, at some point, Destin Wade's going to break loose because you see the off-schedule playmaking ability that he brings to this offense and why every team is looking for someone who has those kind of characteristics.
So Wilson Berry forced to punt from his own end zone. DeJean coming off a nice reception a minute ago on a punt. Almost gets to him. DeJean get a fair catch it there at the 48-yard line. So you just saw it there. Iowa, they played the good defense. They pinned them deep. Now they're going to start in Kentucky territory. Monday, two of the oldest and most prestigious bowl games on ESPN and the app. Number 16, Tulane takes on USC in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Then number 11, Penn State squares off against number 8, Utah, the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Utah making a second consecutive appearance in the Rose Bowl after the Classic last year with Ohio State. So Labus under center. The give to Caleb Johnson, and Johnson's gonna fight his way forward. And a gain of 2.
I really liked how Brian Ferentz, offensive coordinator, got Joe Labus on the move early in this football game, and they were getting chunk plays. They were getting chunk gains of 11, 14, 12 yards as far as getting him outside the pocket in the boot game, getting the ball in the hands of guys like Sam Laporta and Luke Lachey on the tight end middle screen. I think he needs to go back to that. I don't know how much production they're going to get just running the ball up the gut against the good size of this Kentucky defensive front.
It's likely the final play of the first quarter. That's Williams trying to scoot to the middle. Jordan Wright, one of those active Kentucky linebackers, on the tackle after a gain of 1. And that will do it for the end of the first quarter. Had a couple of offensive plays. We've had some good defense. We've had some good special teams. It is 0-0 right now in Nashville between Kentucky and Iowa. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Second quarter, TransPerfect Music City Bowl as we take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings brought to you by Progressive. And right now, the Big Ten represented in this game 3-0. We're just about to wrap up bowl season here in Nashville. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles. 3rd and 7 as we start the second quarter. Ball at the 45 for Joe Labus and the Iowa Hawkeyes offense. Labus to throw over the middle. Nice read and recognition. Vines with the reception, popped loose by Zion Childress, ruled incomplete. It was intended for Vines, and Childress with the big pop to knock it loose.
You see Zion Childress, he's one of those guys. You're going to see him right here in the middle of your screen. Watch him diagnose this play and come downhill. He's playing a little bit of a robber type of technique and come downhill with perfect form tackling, separate receiver from the ball. Zion Childress is one of these safeties that when you watch Kentucky film shows up over and over and over again as a versatile box player, deep field player, good tackler, good hitter. They've got him all over this defense. There's a reason why this defense is one of the best in college football.
See, we get some right there. Some Tory Taylor magic again with the punt. Called for the fair catch and then ran it. Can't do that. Should be a penalty. So punt to 39 by Taylor as we take a look at today's performance update prepared by Tax Act. And it's that Iowa defense that we featured in the open, Lewis. 8 opponents to 10 or fewer points. They have not disappointed at this point.
Yeah, they just play good, fundamentally sound defense. Their defensive front is very disciplined as far as everyone knowing what their gap fits are. They've been firing these linebackers, Jack Campbell and Seth Benson, on some cross stunts, getting them coming downhill. And then in the secondary, you've already seen Sebastian Castro make a couple really nice plays on the ball. One downfield on a big play, potentially to Barry and Brown. And then another stop and Destin Wade short of a first down.
All punts for Kentucky to this point. Field position is going to be a factor now for the young quarterback for Kentucky. Wade going to take a shot off the play fake. Has Brown beat. And the speedster can't catch up to it. Second time we've seen them take a shot at Brown. That time, Riley Moss on the coverage.
Yeah, that is a nice match. That's really, I'll tell you what, for both teams, that's maybe the two best athletes going head-to-head. You're going to see it up here at the top, the one-on-one matchup. Riley Moss, when he plays press man, very patient, good with his offhand jam. You see him try and take a peek there, and every time you take a peek and the ball's not there at the catch point, you see how wide receivers can separate. A little bit better of a throw, and who knows, maybe we have another big play potentially right there. But that's a matchup to watch this game.
Wade under center. Jaton McClain gets the handoff. And that Iowa defensive front, they feel like they've got, Phil Parker said they got about 10 guys they can rotate up front, fresh legs, and it all starts with them. And Noah Shannon and Campbell both combine on the tackle.
Yeah, look, Noah Shannon is another one of these guys that we'll talk about today, number 99. He's the guy who gets upfield and creates havoc with his penetration. 8.5 tackles for a loss, second on the team. But you watch all these Iowa defenders, they all play with great square shoulders, Matt. You see them get extension, get separation from between them and the blocker so they can get off blocks. They just build a wall, man, and it's consistently down after down.
Second consecutive possession now. Kentucky deep in their own territory. Wade out of his end zone. Has to get out of there quick, and that's his elusiveness just to keep a safety out of play and a gain of 1. So Kentucky again going to have to punt for the 4th time, and that was Logan Lee who brought him down.
You see the discipline in their rush lanes. You see the penetration that Deontay Craig, number 45, maybe their most talented defensive lineman, you see the penetration that he got. Everyone stays in their rush lanes, though. They don't give Deontay Dustin any place where he can escape. And then they finish it off. That right there is just great team defense. That has become what you would expect out of Iowa's defense all year long.
So Wilson Berry again, pressure to punt. Gets it off. DeJean waving players away. And I think by the end of this half, Louis Riddick's love of defense is going to come over to my side of the booth. I am starting to see the beauty in it, Louis.
Hey, defense wins championships. There's a reason why it's the saying, Matt. I mean, come on, buy in. Buy in.
Kevin Connors, thank you. Should be interesting there. Kansas State, they win the Big 12 championship, beating TCU, who's in the playoff. We'll see what Alabama has for them in that one. Welcome back to Nashville. So second consecutive possession for Iowa in Kentucky territory. Looked for the screen back over the middle to Sam Laporta. Good play design. And how about Laporta? Refuses to go down. Sam Laporta dragging Kentucky defenders in a gain of 27, and that is just individual Iowa effort.
That's what we're talking about, baby. This is why this young man, you're going to see Laporta right here. Just watch the tight end screen. You're going to see him just kind of check 1001, 1002, and then it's all him. Spin move, broken tackle 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's just like, you're not bringing me down. Look, he is not the greatest athlete, but he is a great competitor, a great football player. He is a Sunday caliber guy, and we're going to be hearing a lot more of Sam Laporta.
Labus looked left to Williams, drew the defender, back to Laporta. Quick shot, that's the other tight end. That Lachey, that, an Iowa touchdown. And this is exactly what they do. They'll play the defense, they'll pin you deep, they'll get the field possession, and Lewis, they'll use the tight end.
Yeah, they put the tight end out. He's one-on-one against corner Keidron Smith, who is now playing the boundary corner now that Carrington Valentine is not playing. So it's just a one-on-one matchup between the 6'6", 250-pound Luke Lachey against Keidron Smith, that's about 204 pounds. That's a mismatch that you'll take all day long, provided that your tight end can run with the ball after the catch. And Luke Lachey just told you, it's not just my dad, Jim Lachey, the all-world offensive tackle that played for the Washington Commanders back in the day. That's a good athlete. I'm pretty darn good, too.
His dad, the radio broadcaster for Ohio State. We'll know he'll be busy tonight. They're going to take a look at the Lachey touchdown. Today, our referee, Mark Duddy. The replay official, Jim Northcott. Lewis, you've been pretty good at these this year.
Yeah, let's see here. We got J.J. Weaver coming over, trying to knock him out of bounds. Does the heel click? I don't think it does.
I don't think
you can overturn that.
I'm with you. I think Lachey's clean.
If you're J.J. Weaver, you got to give better effort right there to get him out of bounds and give your defense a chance to fight another day.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands. Touchdown.
You know, it's something else. I read earlier, the university that brought you George Kittle, Noah Fant, Hawkeyes and Dallas Clark, Sam Laporta. Why not just have Luke Lachey, who they said looked like Bambi when he got on campus? He's the next great Iowa tight end. When a school knows who they are, when they know their DNA, boy, do they know how to emphasize it.
Yeah, they sure do, man. Look, this is a tight end-centric offense, meaning the tight ends are the ones that make the big plays for this team, man. And right now, they are delivering.
Tell you what, Lachey had this stadium shaking, rode that Kentucky defender like a wrecking ball. 7-0 Hawkeyes in Nashville.
The TransPerfect Music City Bowl on ABC is brought to you by TransPerfect, simplified global business. In part by Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Visit musiccity.com. And Capital One, what's in your wallet?
2 consecutive plays by the Iowa tight ends, which resulted in Joe Levis's first career touchdown pass. Laporta the screen, Lachey the touchdown, and the Iowa Hawkeyes up 7-0 here at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl.
Look, this is an offense that Brian Ferentz, offensive coordinator, knows is going to really be focused on attacking the middle of the field, the area between the numbers, whether it be the college numbers or the pro numbers. We know the college numbers are a little bit wider, but that's the area of the field that this offense really operates in. They don't have downfield speed on the outside. They don't have that guy that can just go over the top and win one-on-one like you see at some of the FBS programs. So they have to be very precise with their passing attack. When they get the ball to these tight ends, it is fun to watch.
It's going to be a procedure kick penalty. Ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line. So if you're Kentucky with Destin Wade, you get a little bit of breathing room this time. Last two they've been pinned inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5 a couple of times. What do you need to see here out of Destin Wade and Scott Woodward calling ball plays for the first time?
I think for them, when they take those shots on the outside and they take the big play shots, I mean, he's going to hit one of these, all right? They had some nice play calling as far as getting some shot plays dialed up. The running game has kind of been non-existent. You've seen Destin and what he can do outside the pocket as far as running the football. Maybe QB design run becomes a little bit more of a part of it. You have to make things a little bit muddy for this Iowa defense, because if they have a clean read, they're just going to shut you down if you aren't creative.
Right now you see Iowa defenders loading the box. The play fake for Wade. Reads it over the middle. It's picked off. That is Xavier Wampa. There goes Wampa. Touchdown Iowa. The highly touted freshman from Pleasant Hill, Iowa, makes it 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds, up 13-0.
See, that's what Iowa does to you. They sit back, play fundamentally sound, good eyes on the quarterback, and in their zone coverages, if you miss, you are not accurate with your throws, they're going to capitalize, man. You're going to see Wampa, I believe here he is, right here at the top of your screen. And you're just going to watch. You're just going to see him break downhill on the throw. The ball is just misfired. It's just not on target. And all he needs to do is just catch it and just run it in for 6. I mean, he's just got to get this ball down and or pull it and go elsewhere with it. But that's the kind of turnover that you just can't have against this team that now they know they're going to make you, they're going to force you into a passing type of game. And this is where the front 7 can start teeing off. This is where the secondary can start taking chances. I've been on this side of it for a defense. Once you get a young quarterback in this kind of situation, where now they're down 2 scores, now it's feasting time.
One of the higher rated recruits for Iowa. And we had said it a number of times. It's just in discussion getting ready for this bowl game. Nowadays, with how college football is structured, typically true freshmen get opportunities late in games, maybe spring football. Xavier Wampa, true freshman. The quarterback's true freshman. The receivers are young. The running backs. They're getting an opportunity to shine, Lewis, here in a national stage in a bowl game.
Yeah, I think it's important now for Mark Stoops to settle Destin Wade down and allow him to get into some kind of comfort and rhythm, which to me means put the ball in his hands and let him run it a little bit. Get him on the edge and let him run it.
Let's check in with Harry.
Yeah, guys, immediately after that interception, a lot of the leaders on this Kentucky team, like a Jaquez Jones, a Jordan Wright, and a Kenneth Horsey, all came up to Destin Wade. We're patting him on the head, telling him, hey, keep your head in the game. We're still in this. Just relax and let's go out there and have some fun.
Yeah, and to that point, Lewis, now you get to learn a little bit about this young player.
Absolutely. Look, this is a fact-finding mission. Look, Mark Stoops said he wants to see what he has in this young man, and adversity is part of finding out what you have in someone. It doesn't do any good to get down on him, doesn't do any good to maybe even consider taking him out of the game. Now, you want to see him play through this, and you want to see how his team rallies around him while he's trying to play through it.
They were able to get Devin Leary, the transfer from NC State. He'll be at Kentucky next year, recovering from an injury. The toss outside to Jaton McClain. They also picked up Ray Davis from Vanderbilt, the running back, and a gain of 5. And so to your point, Lewis, it is settle down, play football, call the plays, and get some yards at a time to reestablish yourself.
Yeah, there you go. And see, that's a nice way to get a quarterback settled down. When you can get 5 on first down, and now you're sitting at 2nd and 5, the playbook becomes a little bit more, let's just say, palatable, a little bit easier to pick a play now when you have 2nd and manageable instead of playing behind the sticks.
Wade to throw, gets it off, nearly tipped. That's Berrien Brown across the middle. Dependent on the spot, looks like they're going to give him enough for the first down, brought down by Joe Evans. So there you go, 5 yards, 5 yards,
Yep.
Reset the sticks, keep going.
Now you can breathe. Just take a deep breath. Now we can start thinking, now what else can we go to? How else do we get this young man in rhythm? Again, do we let him run? Do we let him use his legs, get a little juice behind him as far as making a big play? Do you now go with play action? You ran the ball nicely on first down, Jaton McClain getting going a little bit. You take another shot over the top. Well, there's a number of different things you can get going here. Let's see what they dial up.
There's 58 total yards offense. That was a muddy exchange. Iowa's defensive front is there. The read option did not go well as Y.A. Black got in there for the tackle along with Wagner.
Yeah, those kind of plays that create indecision in the mind of the quarterback, especially a young quarterback, probably the kind of things you want to stay away from. Just make it real simple for this young man to let his athletic ability shine through so he can gain some confidence. Just like this early this drive started off. Get the ball in the running back's hands. A couple quick throws to the wideouts who are fantastic athletes.
2nd and 11, quick throw outside, throws behind and low to Brown. They rule it incomplete. Riley Moss was there. And a 3rd and long now for Kentucky.
Yeah, this isn't where you want to be. This isn't where you want to be because now you have some of these good pass rushers on the field. You see Deontay Craig, 45, he's checked into the game. 91, Lucas Van Ness, he's checked into the game. You got Joe Evans, 13 on the outside. These guys, they love this down and distance.
An offensive line that has struggled most of the year for Kentucky has their hands full this afternoon with this stout Iowa defense. 3rd and long. Wade slipped on his plant foot, gets it outside, complete to Robinson, not going to be enough. And another punt for Kentucky brought down by Castro.
2nd level defenders for Iowa just playing at the sticks, keep it in front of you, rally up to the football on the throw and make the tackle. I mean, it's as plain as day. It's as simple as can be as far as how Iowa likes to play. It's about eyes, fundamentals, breaking on the football, making short tackles. I know it may sound vanilla and boring, folks, but that's how good defenses play, and that's why Iowa's one of the best ones in the country.
Field conditions. There was an NFL game here Thursday night. Titans-Cowboys. It's wet, a little slippery, more pressure. Wilson Berry able to get it off. And a nice punt for Berry. Iowa's offense scored a touchdown. They got a pick 6. Back with the ball when we come back. 14-0 Iowa here at the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. 2nd consecutive year these teams have met in a bowl game. Here's our upcoming featured ESPN football lineup. Got the college football playoff semifinals today. Monday, you've got the granddaddy of them all, and then Monday Night Football, Bills-Bengals, 8:15 Eastern. Down to Harry.
Sam Laporta this week about making the transition from being a high school wideout to a Big Ten tight end. He told me, hey man, you get knocked on your butt a lot at first. He said he had never played the position before, never put his hand in the ground, but said getting knocked on your butt makes you a better player. He's also had the help of previous tight ends that you mentioned before, Dallas Clark, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, gives them a lot of credit for the player that he's become. And he told me he's got a weekly call with Dallas Clark that was at one point to give him advice on things that he needed to do on the field, and now it's just become a point of, hey, how many times are you going to get the ball, man?
It was all the rage in Iowa Twitter this week when Laporta was lining up at quarterback in bowl practice, listed as the emergency quarterback. Although down near the goal line, wouldn't mind seeing a Laporta read option. It's a bowl game, get weird. Gain of 5 on first down, Levis to roll out. Good job by Kentucky's defense to bat that down. That's Tyrell Asian who knocked it down.
Kentucky defense, the guys coming off the edge. There's Tyrell Agent earlier in the game. It's Jordan Wright. This is what they got to do. Make sure they're taking a good angle to make sure that they pull up or force Joe Levis to pull up as far as when he gets out on the edge trying to throw these boot passes, or make him put it over the top of them and put some air under it, maybe giving defensive backs some time to break on the ball. Maybe they can get their own pick six.
And Lewis, it's worth pointing out, there's 7 points good field position for Iowa and a pick 6. So all told, Kentucky's defense has held the Hawkeyes to 102 yards of offense as they try to bang it up the middle with Levis, the keeper. And he slides down. I think he's going to be inches short of the first down. That was Asian again coming up on it.
Yeah, that's the first time really you've seen him take off out here on the perimeter. We can see a little bit of his athletic ability in space. It's a wise move by the young man to get down there before he took a big shot. Kirk gonna go for it? He's gonna punt it.
Now, come on, Lewis, how dare you?
Come on, Kirk.
How dare you question
Offensive line coach
when you've got a punter to the effect of Torrey Taylor.
And you got this defense and you got a 2-score lead. Yeah, of course, you punt it away.
Play clock under 10, now to 5. See if Kirk bangs one of those timeouts. They get the snap off. Tavian Robinson deep to receive. He fields it inside his 20. There's your special teams. Punt to 50. Return of nothing. And the MegaCast is back for the college football playoff semifinals. 9 different viewing options for each semifinal. You got the Field Pass, Pat McAfee Show, presented by Mercedes-Benz on ESPN2. RG3 going to be a part of that. Cole Kubelik, AJ Hawk, Darius Butler. MegaCast lineup also includes the Command Center, AT&T 5G Skycast, all 22 hometown radio calls. At some point, I believe we will have a MegaCast about the MegaCast.
There you go.
And then we're just real MegaCast. Kentucky, however,
a lot of
MegaCasting.
Yeah, that's a lot of viewing options right there. I was looking, man, you got a lot of different ways to watch these games, folks. It is kind of fun, though. It's fun having all those different options, man. That's a great concept.
You want to hear a fun MegaCast story? They had myself, Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, the guys that I do studio with all season long, and they had us on a MegaCast. And at one point, they texted us and we were talking too much.
No way.
So then we just ate. 1st and 10. More punts than first downs for Kentucky's offense. And a good job by the Hawkeyes defense to get Brown outside, never let him cut upfield. That was DeGene.
Yeah, that's what you do. When on perimeter run, you just make the ball bounce, make it bounce, make it bounce, and everyone just then starts to rally to the football. And here, you can see Cooper DeGene. But this guy, you already saw, he averages over 17 yards per punt return. He's a guy who can cover downfield on punt team. Former quarterback in high school. He's got great ball skills. He's a willing tackler. Look, him and Riley Moss form a nice tandem on the corner.
What did Phil Parker tell us about him, too? Said he was off the charts.
Yep. Super smart.
Wade to Dane Key. That the second play of 7 yards or longer for Kentucky. Trying to move the chains again and see if they can't get any momentum offensively.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's not going to show up in the stats, obviously, because they were incomplete passes, but they've had shots down the field to Barry and Brown that could have been home run plays. So the skilled players for Kentucky are winning some of the battles. I mean, Barry and Brown is no slouch, and neither is Dane Key. They just got to hit them.
3rd and 4 for Wade. Forced out of the pocket. Steps up to run, and that's a good job by Destin Wade, understanding nothing there. Used the athletic ability, brought down by Lee, and a gain of 9.
There you go. There you see the open field running skills. Make somebody miss, pick up the first down. When it's not there, you see they run a little bit of a stunt. You see that he said, look, it's not clean. I'm taking off here. Jack Campbell was frozen in his tracks. That's what you're supposed to do, Destin Wade. That's why you're one of the better dual threat quarterbacks coming out of high school last year. That will settle him down and make him more comfortable and more confident.
Highly rated 4-star prospect out of Spring Hill. Again, he's forced out. Again, Iowa's defense gets to him. And that's the all-everything Jack Campbell on the sack.
Look, we talked about in the open that Jack Campbell is best when he's going forward, when he is a downhill guy. And when they fire him on these cross stunts, and you're going to see him coming right up the middle there on the cross stunt, him and Seth Benson, they've been throwing it at this young quarterback over and over again, making sure that you're going to see Jack Campbell right here, and here you're going to see Seth Benson. And watch the two of them just cross in the A-gap right over the center and the guard. And what they do is they muddy up that pocket and make Destin Wade have to get outside the pocket where he just doesn't have clear vision down the field. And he has to speed up his process. Real smart move on the part of the Kentucky defense.
Tell you what, Jack Campbell is out of Big Ten Central casting. You wanted a linebacker, how you wanted him to look at Iowa, playing Big Ten football, it's 31. Castro brings down Brown, and another 3rd and long coming up.
But they're doing a nice job. Defensive coordinator Phil Parker is doing a nice job of mixing things up, playing some zone coverage, some single high zone coverage with the safety in the middle of the field, some too high zone coverage, the good old cover 2 that we hear talked about over and over again on TV. And then they're sending some pressure after this young quarterback, getting these linebackers active, coming right down the pike on him, and making him have to make quick decisions.
Pressure showing from Campbell. Benson up in there. They back off it. Wade downfield wants a flag. No flagging complete. And that was DeJean on Brown. And the 6th punt coming from Kentucky.
It was like Barry and Brown wanted a flag there. Cooper DeJean from the nice coverage. They're playing a matchup zone. Look like it's cover 3, a 3-deep type of zone where then you can match it up down the field where it becomes man-to-man, and DeJean was all over him. He's had a nice game so far. He's tackling well. He's had a big punt return, doing a good job on punt coverage. This young man is averaging over 17 yards of return, so don't get up and go to the refrigerator and get something to eat right now. There's no telling what number 3 can do if he can get his
hands. This Iowa punt block team has been close. Big hit on DeJean, and that's going to be catcher interference. That was Taj Dotson just blowing up 3 Cooper DeJean, and that's going to give Iowa better field position after the punt to 41.
That's not the kind of big play I was expecting. You see him make the fair catch symbol. You just got to have better awareness when you're covering downfield as a flyer.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 30. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Hey, and give both of these teams credit. That's the first penalty we've had here in the first half. But we knew what we were going to get. We were going to get Jack Campbell. We were going to get Iowa defense. And right now, it's Hawkeyes up 14-0 here, late second quarter. 14-0 here, Iowa at the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, brought to you by Capital One Bowl Mania. Coming up on the TikTok halftime report, Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Kevin Nagandi are in Atlanta. We'll have highlights of Alabama, Kansas State, the keys to Georgia's success, and the over-under on Palmer talk time. Can Galloway get in there, or will Palmer filibuster his way through another VO. Find out at the half, live from Atlanta. So 3:44 left here in Nashville in the first half. Caleb Johnson in the backfield. He gets the carry. Nice job in recognition by Keidron Smith, the player that Brad White told us the smartest football player he's ever been around. Comes up to the line of scrimmage, makes the tackle.
This is a transfer from Ole Miss, who's played a lot of football in his career, played a lot of different positions, can play all the 4 primary positions in the secondary. Moving to that boundary corner spot, as I said earlier, that was manned by Carrington Valentine all season long. Well, they love Keidron Smith. Big, physical, smart, good football player for him.
Labus under center. Johnson bobbles it, and that's just the ball bouncing your way. Falls right back into his chest. Agent was the closest player there to recover it. And Iowa got lucky here.
You can see Agent coming off the edge. They're not secure with the quarterback running back exchange. You see it right there. Caleb Johnson never really has it. That's the kind of break that Kentucky needs. Kentucky needs to provide their offense with a short field, or come up with their own turnover, pick 6, scoop and score, something. They got too many good athletes on this side of the ball for them to not do something to help out their offense.
Iowa's done a good job getting Labus out of the pocket, throwing to the tight end. Surprised how conservative they've been here with 3 timeouts before the half. 2 consecutive runs. Will that change? No, the pop pass to Deontay Vines, and Kentucky does a good job. They'll get the ball back themselves, forcing a punt with 3 timeouts left. That was Smith again. There's a flag there on the Iowa, or the Kentucky rather, sideline. See what the call is.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
Not enough players up on the line of scrimmage. You need 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. That's just a mental error.
And look, we've got a young quarterback. Iowa's got the young quarterback in Labus. There's 2 of them out there. You surprised by the play calling on that drive?
Not necessarily, only because, Matt, I mean, look, they have a great defense. They have a 2-score lead. They're going up against a young freshman quarterback for Kentucky that's making his own first start.
See my man there eyeing that cheese fry? Torrey Taylor. I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah, they're definitely not making it easy
No.
on young Destin Wade as far as getting some good starting field position.
It's like he's hitting a pitching wedge and a Pro V1 every time he punts. Here are 2 of the 4 bowl games for you on ESPN's networks. Will Rogers leads number 22. Mississippi State and their potent offense gets Illinois, the stout defense. And the Relia Quest Bowl, ESPN2 coverage begins noon Eastern, and on ABC 1 Eastern. Dual threat. Jaden Daniels leading LSU against Purdue. Cheez-It Citrus Bowl in Orlando. And you see Mississippi State. Our crew, we see LSU and Brian Kelly in his first year as head coach of LSU. But I do want to take a moment here. Our crew called the Egg Bowl Mississippi State and Ole Miss. There was no way of us knowing, Lewis, that would be the final game of Mike Leach's life.
Unbelievable.
And our thoughts and prayers with everyone connected to Coach Leach.
Absolutely.
The Mississippi State football family. Kentucky's got logos on the back of their helmets, stickers on the back of their helmets, as Kentucky takes a timeout to pay their respects for Mike Leach, who at one time under Hal Mumme in the birth of that air raid offense, a very big part of this Kentucky program history. But he was a coach that did it his way. He was irreverent. He would say things that would make the media just kind of laugh and go, where is he going about this? And I said it the day that he passed on SportsCenter, that this was a man who knew a lot about everything.
Yeah.
About everything.
Yeah, he was, I think, to a man and to a woman, every person who came into contact with him, they all spoke about how it wasn't just about football that he wanted to talk about. Very rarely it was about football. It was always about other things, other world events, other current events. A well-rounded guy, someone who was beloved by many.
So now 2 timeouts for Kentucky. Ball at the 7. And Wade's been doing that all first half. Takes a big hit from Campbell. That's their third start inside the 10-yard line. And Iowa's going to take their first timeout.
Yeah, refs down here riding the stationary bikes.
That's the alternate staying warm. Lewis, you never know when it's next man up.
You know what? You're right. You're right. You never know when they're going to call on you. You don't want to go out there and pull a hamstring or a quad or something, I guess, if you're not ready. But
that's actually $1. Give him $1 for using team equipment. All right, this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. These guys.
You got the little dudes out here.
Just a couple of young.
No shirts on.
A couple of young Chris Hassels there. Just loving Iowa football. Shirts off.
Man.
Nashville, you never know what's going to happen. That guy looking at his bicep.
It is a nice day out here. I mean,
it is.
It's comfortable. It's quite honestly, it's like perfect football weather.
That fella's going to have a couple more muscle snacks in his time, I'm sure. Just don't take him to Tootsie's. 2nd and 8. Quick shot outside to Brown. And anytime they try to get Brown, because he's an electric player, anytime they try to get him to get in space, Iowa's defense is just suffocating.
Yeah, well, you don't want to come back inside against this defense where you see all these big guys running inside out on these wide receiver screens, because you're going to set yourself up for a world of hurt with the way this defense runs the ball. They got to get these guys in space. Look, they have some fantastic athletes on the perimeter. Marion Brown is a 5-star recruit, a 100, 200-meter track champion. You got to get him in space. Get Dane Key in space. They've had him open down the field. I would go back to it and continue to try and pressure this team down the field, because those plays right there, Iowa's going to eat those alive all day.
And there's a lot of turnover with Kentucky. From Scangarello getting fired, Levis out, so you've got the new play caller for the first time, Scott Woodward, the wide receivers coach. You're breaking in a new quarterback. You're breaking in a new play caller. We're aware of reports of who might be returning to Kentucky to be a play caller. But this was a lot for Kentucky to digest going into a bowl game with a month to prepare.
You want to know what else doesn't really help a young quarterback? The number one thing that doesn't help, when you have an offensive line that can't capture the line of scrimmage and can't run the ball. It just makes everything worse.
Wade downfield. That's trouble. That's Cooper DeJean read that thing from a mile away, and it is all Iowa here in the Music City.
Look, whenever you're holding the football as a young quarterback and you start getting nervous and the play starts to extend, generally you're going to make a bad decision that you don't want to make. And a guy like Cooper DeJean is going to make you pay. You can't just hold the football, pat your feet, and then throw the football late like you do in this situation. Here's Cooper DeJean. I want you to watch Destin Wade. I want you to watch his body language here as he can't find where he wants to go with the football. He's looking to his left. Everything's covered. You're late. Marion Brown isn't working back to the football. He's just standing there. Cooper DeJean reads your mail, breaks downhill. You see there, he's trying to come backside, but now it's too late. And Marion Brown doesn't help him out. You see him just stand there. You got to work back to the quarterback. You got to give him an obvious target somewhere to throw the football to. And for Cooper DeJean, he's saying, look, are you kidding me? Marion Brown, you're just going to stand there and think I'm not going to break on this football?
That is the second pick six for Destin Wade this half. And because of it, 21-14 Iowa. And coming into the broadcast, we had talked about the experience and the talent of the corners for Iowa with Riley Moss, with 3, Cooper DeJean, again, the coaches think is the next great Iowa defensive player. And they have showed up here early on.
He's another one of these really great athletes. Look, Riley Moss was a state champion 110-meter high hurdler in high school. Had one of the fastest times in the country. The kid can absolutely fly. Cooper DeJean long jump 100-meter champion in high school, 200-meter runner-up champion in high school. These guys are fantastic athletes.
Brown gets popped on the kick return. And in every physical aspect of this game in the first half, Lewis, it has been all Iowa. Line of scrimmage, defensively, and in special teams.
One of the quickest ways to find out about a team, old or young, regardless of position, in terms of their mindset, is to watch them cover kicks. And you saw it right there. Right there you see the difference as far as what Iowa has been about so far in this football game overall. They're a team that runs and hits, plays fundamentally sound football. And they have played to the strength of this defense all year long, and nothing has changed in this game.
So the 8 possessions for Kentucky here in the first half. 6 punts, 2 pick sixes. Iowa with the 1 timeout, Kentucky with 2. But at this point, with how this has gone to end the half, you have to think Mark Stoops content. See what maybe you can get into the half, regroup, and see what you can do in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think right now you don't want to have this game get too far out of hand. You're already down 3 scores. And right now you can't run the football effectively. The quarterback seems to be a little bit unsettled. He's a little nervous behind this offensive line, and deservedly so. And he's making some bad decisions here backed up in his own territory throwing the football.
That's again McClain. He stutter steps his way through the defense. How about Jatan McClain? Wampa brings him down in a gain of 11.
Maybe the run game is something that they try and work a little bit more here in the second half. Although, look, I think it's a natural tendency for defenses right now. They know that the half is coming. Maybe not on it as far as their assignments are concerned the way they should be right now, but
another throw, more pressure. Wade, a good job stepping up in the pocket to get out of bounds. There's a good use of his athletic ability. Had to climb up the pocket. Deontay Gregg missed the tackle. Pressure was there and a gain of 9.
There's always a story to every play, right? So sometimes the quarterback makes a bad decision, bad throw. It winds up being a negative play. Other times the quarterback gets back there, the protection starts breaking down. At the top of his drop, when he's ready to throw, the wide receivers aren't open like it was on that last play. And that's how things is kind of like why offenses can't always stay in rhythm. When it isn't all in sync and tied together, which is what offense is all about, you get sporadic performance, and that's what's happening to Kentucky right now.
Play clock down to 10, still the 2 timeouts for Kentucky. Seeing Jordan Anthony, top of the screen, first time he's in, same with Brandon White. Play clock at 1, snap gets off. He's just got no time, but he's able to get out of it. That time, can't. Ball came out at the end, but Deontay Craig, and that's just Destin Wade trying to make a play, holding on to it too long, and another sack.
Again, when he's ready to throw, wide receivers aren't ready to receive the ball. They're not coming out of their breaks. He's not sure of what the coverage rotation looks like down the field. And you see here, his eyes are coming down quick. He's trying to get out of that pocket quickly because he's feeling the pressure and is just not comfortable. And then when he tries to break the pocket, look, sometimes he's going to be able to get out around the corner and pick up some positive yardage. But Iowa's got some players too. And when you have guys like Deontay Craig that can run and track you down in the perimeter, you're just going to end up with a negative play.
And they'll just give it to McClain off the left side. Iowa's going to use their second of 3 timeouts. Lewis, this game was set up. Coming in, we knew both of these teams and the offensive struggles throughout the year, but to counter that, they both come in with really good defenses. Early on, Iowa's made the best use of their inexperienced quarterback, and the score reflects that, but moreover, their defense has been superior.
Yeah, look, their defense has made the plays that they've needed to make relative to the bad decisions that Destin Wade has made. They've capitalized on them. The good thing for Iowa so far is the fact that Joe Labus has not turned the ball over. He has not been careless with it. They've done a nice job of designing a game plan that he can execute. Tight end centric, getting Lachey, getting Sam Laporta the football, and that's why they're up 3 scores.
I'm telling you, watch this Iowa special. They've gotten close to the punt every time. Kentucky, a good job blocking it there. DeJean with the fair catch. Don't forget, just a busy day. We are merely the appetizer to a fun day of college football over on ESPN. Got the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, the early game, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ohio State, Georgia. Georgia, the defending champions. The defense continues to be Kirby Smart's calling card. And I tell you what, Stetson Bennett is one of the more unheralded quarterbacks that have won a national championship in quite some time. Georgia's, they're going to be tough out. Now, having said that, Ohio State, if they click, could be a fun game. But Georgia right now, every bit of the best team in the country.
Yeah, that defense is something else. And look, Stetson Bennett always rises to the occasion in the biggest moments that they need him to, man. I would expect today to be nothing different.
Offside, defense, number 52, in the neutral zone with contact. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was Justin Rogers early on the snap. I'm going to be interested in Kentucky in this second half because this is a growth moment for them, down 21-0 with a lot of young players in this game.
Look, their defense, just like Iowa's defense, is going to have to make some plays to give Kentucky's offense some short fields. They're going to have to find a way to get the football back for their offense in a position where they can then score quickly. Because if not, this game's going to be over.
So that'll do it for the first half here at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, 21-0 Iowa. It's been really good defense and special teams that have led the Hawkeyes to this point. Remember, Iowa won the toss. They deferred. They will open up with the ball in the third quarter and a nice lead for their young quarterback. And we'll see what Destin Wade and Kentucky can do on the back end of this. Let's go down to Harry.
Coach, Joe Labus, 7 for 10, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. He told me he felt prepared. What did you see from him out there?
Yeah, I think he's doing a really nice job. Hasn't made a critical mistake start there, which is paramount. But he's kept his poise, done a really good job, and just, we have to keep pushing forward here. Got
a couple of pick sixes from your defense, held them to about 100 yards. What do you tell those guys coming out here in the second half to hold on to this one?
Yeah, we got to keep playing, but great opportune plays by both Vex and obviously Cooper there. So that's an extra bonus.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.
It's been Iowa football, 21-0 over Kentucky. Stay tuned for the TikTok halftime report live from Atlanta right after these messages.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome back to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl here in Nashville as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania. It's been all Iowa Hawkeyes over Kentucky. 21-0 the score. The story coming in, the young quarterbacks, and right now it's been the Iowa defense that has been the difference with that. Welcome back, Louis Riddick, Matt Berry. Hopefully enjoying this great day of college football across ABC and ESPN. And Louis, we came in knowing this Iowa defense was special, and they've been able to take advantage of the young quarterback for Kentucky.
Yeah, they feasted off of Destin Wade's turnovers, his bad decision-making. You see the pick sixes, those are just killer. When you turn the football over deep in your own territory like that, this defense is just going to feast off you from there. And really, quite honestly, look, Joe Labus hasn't really made any mistakes. He hasn't turned it over for Iowa. So right now, that's how you get up 21-0, 3 scores at the half. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Let's get to
Kentucky in the second half.
Let's get to our clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. And it is those 2 pick sixes, Louis, that are the difference in this game.
Yeah, you see here the first one by Wampa. Just an overthrow. He just has to keep his eyes on the football, catch it, and then run it in. And then you see the second one where Destin Wade really is trying to go front side to back side. He's late on the throw. Marion Brown doesn't help him out as far as working back to the football. And Cooper DeJean just sits there and goes, hey, look, I'll take that. I'll take that, and I'll waltz right on in here. And now here in this second half, Kentucky has to find a way to get some offense going.
Here's today's game track brought to you by TikTok. Look, the yards discrepancy, Lewis, isn't that big. It's all about the turnovers. Iowa has a pair of them, and when you get a pair of turnovers for a touchdown. That's going to work in your favor, up 21-0. Remember, they won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they will start with the ball as we go down to Harry Lyles.
Yeah, Matt, I spoke with Mark Stoops, and I asked him, hey, what's your evaluation of Destin Wade in that first half? He said, look, he just needs to do a little bit better decision-making, calm down. He said as long as he hangs in there, they'll be okay. I asked him if we'll see any of Kaya Sharon at all in the second half. He said he wasn't sure, but he did not say it was out of the question. Defensively, he said, hey, we're doing fine. We just got to win the field position battle a little bit better, but obviously is a little bit tough given the way that Iowa's played defense so far. We'll see how it goes in the second half.
Harry, thank you. As for Joe Labus, what do the coaches tell us about him in our meetings? He was getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see what he was going to show up come game day. And right now, he's been calm, cool, collected when they needed him. He played a good first half. And this is much how they started the game. They would play fake. They'd roll him out of the pocket. They'd find the tight end, Luke Lachey, and they'd get about 7-8 yards to start the half.
I mean, how smart is that by Brian Ferentz? Once again, going right back to the boot game. Exactly how they started this football game. Nice, easy throw, high percentage throw. You get 9 yards. Now you're sitting here at second and 1, second and 2, and you can do whatever you want. You can take a shot over the top if you want. You can run it. You can run a boot again. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do now. That's just a great way to start the second half. Great call by Brian.
And Lachey's going to have to get rebooted there as his shoe came off. So he's off the field here, 2nd and 2. That's Johnson, who hasn't really been able to get going today. Credit Kentucky's defense. They've been at or near the line of scrimmage when Johnson's been running the ball. That Jaquez Jones got hurt against Ole Miss, missed last year's bowl game, and it was important for him to get back out here today.
Yeah, you can see it here along the line of scrimmage. You know, they do a nice job of playing downhill, attacking the line of scrimmage, forcing Caleb Johnson to take the ball lateral, which plays right into their hands because they got tremendous speed on the defensive side of the ball. Look, this defense has played winning football. They just got to keep Iowa pinned in here and see if they can get some kind of favorable field position for their offense.
First time we've seen Jazz Patterson in the backfield, play fake, Labus upfield, incomplete. That intended for Laporta.
Yeah, he just missed him. He had Laporta on a seam route going right up in between the numbers in the hash, I believe. And he could have had him here for a first down and maybe a big chunk play. He just missed the throw, and you see him coming off the sideline. He knows it.
And that's the one you want when you're trying to develop some confidence as a young player in your first start.
Yeah, I mean, look,
to get out here, make a big play, move the chains, hit your star tight end, keep the drive alive.
Exactly, especially those play-action, drop-back game type of throws that aren't move the pocket type of throws on first and second down. That's where you want to really make your hay and make your mark as a passer.
Torrey Taylor. Brings him inside the 15. You heard Harry's report with Mark Stoops and about getting Destin Wade to settle down.
Yeah, this is tough. Look, you have another drive here starting deep in your own territory, inside the 20. I mean, that's what every defense, when you play kickoff team, we used to get, you know, incentives, let's just put it that way, in the NFL for tackles inside the 20. Because when you start an offense inside the 20, their chances of scoring and driving the ball 80+ are really, really minuscule. And this is just the kind of thing that, again, puts them in a hole. And it's just tough for a young quarterback to work through against a defense of this caliber.
Quick toss outside to McClain. See if they can't get him going a little bit. Saw some flashes of him at the end of the second quarter, and a gain of 4 brought down by Evans.
Yeah, Tom McClain is a guy who has game-breaking speed. He has electric open field running ability. It's just hard to get started against this team that plays so good up front, pursues well laterally, and are good, solid tackles.
We talk about Will Levis not playing in this one, but Chris Rodriguez opted out. Cavassier Smoke isn't here, so a lot of the offensive weapons Kentucky did have at their disposal, not playing. Wade's got to take a shot, has a man downfield, and again he misses Dane Key. But you saw that play develop. Key was able to find the open spot. Wade wasn't able to hit it.
Yeah, they're trying to hit the corner route, see if they can get the ball in behind the corner, Cooper DeJean. And Cooper read it pretty nice. If that ball was actually thrown on target, I'm not so sure that DeJean doesn't undercut it and maybe intercept it. So maybe it was good that he did overthrow it.
DeJean, a school record for pick sixes in a single season. He has 3 of them. That one in the first half. He has played a really good football game here for Iowa. 3rd and 6. Kentucky's opening possession of the third quarter. Snap, drop. Wade in trouble. Wade goes down. Joe Evans was there. And the dropped snap just took that one off its timing, and Iowa's defense capitalized.
Yeah, it's just going to give the defensive line more time to get to the passer. And you see these guys going up against an offensive line that's already challenged when it comes to pass rush anyway. You used to see Evans right here looping back inside against Dagger Burton, who really struggles in pass protection on this Kentucky offensive line. They just have no shot. If the ball's not coming out on time, the quarterback is just a sitting duck.
We get another punt from Wilson Berry's end zone. He's had to work hard today. That's DeJean. Catches it at the 40. Tries to make an initial man miss. Short gain for DeJean. 47-yard punt and a gain of 5. And I have news to announce. I would like to introduce you to the Thursday Night Swingers. It's a new country music band. Look at us. Look at Lewis and the drums.
You know, just so you folks know, I was a pretty darn good drummer back in my day.
Find us at Tootsie's. Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl here in the great city of Nashville, Tennessee. Iowa up 21-0. College football playoff semifinals there tonight. The wait is over. Verbo Fiesta Bowl. J.J. McCarthy in Michigan. Can they get to the national championship this year? Fell short last year. Taking on TCU, Chick-fil-A, Peach Bowl, 8 p.m. Eastern, the nightcap. The defending champion Georgia Bulldogs taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Sean Williams in the backfield for Labus in Iowa. They're going to give the ball to Williams off the right side. And again, I've said it all game, Lewis. You can say what you want about the score, but it's not because this Kentucky defense is getting beat. That was Oxendine. Check that Walker on the tackle for Kentucky.
Look at Big Deion Walker here. Just reset the line of scrimmage there on Jennings Dunker. Well, defensive coordinator Brad White said this about Deion Walker. We said, well, who does he compare to? What kind of upside does he have? I mean, this is just a young freshman mountain of a man at 6'3", 330. You know what he said? He said Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
He said he has that kind of upside ultimately.
Well, to be fair, he called him a small Walmart first.
Yeah, he did.
And they were like, well, Coach, we can't really comp him to a small Walmart. Can we get a human? Oh, sure, Jordan Davis. The flag on the play is going to be a delay of game on Iowa's offense.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, this guy, I'm telling you, he has just all the upside in the world. Former 4-star prospect. Plays what they call that 5 technique, the defensive tackle or defensive end position in the 3-4 structure with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. He can play up and down the line of scrimmage. He's just a guy who just resets the line of scrimmage with power.
There's Labus going to take off in the design run. Tell you what, he hasn't gotten the memo about quarterbacks sliding. That's the second time we've seen him lower his shoulder in a gain of 10. 41 yards rushing for the Hawkeyes today. Zion Childress brings him down.
There you get to see the dual threat capability of Joe Labus. I mean, those are the kind of things he said, look, I can do that. That's really one of the best parts of my game. He's trying to play within structure in this offense, and they haven't needed to tap into that very much, but he can do it.
So 3rd and 8. Labus looked right. Pressure goes down. Nice job by Jordan Wright, one of those experienced linebackers, the biggest playmaker on this defense. First sack for Kentucky and Wright. And that's a good job by Kentucky forcing the punt.
Yeah, you're going to see Jordan Wright right here on the edge of your screen. Look, this is a nice job of Labus on the part of not just going ahead and trying to force the ball somewhere and making a bad play even worse. And if you're Jordan Wright, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Quarterback pulls the ball down, just keep working. Retrace your steps, circle around into the center of the pocket, put him on the ground.
Iowa now 0 for 7 on 3rd downs in this game, yet they lead 21-0. Taylor forces Tavian Robinson back inside the 10. Remember Tom Amansky with the AAU back-to-back-to-back championships in baseball fundamentals, special teams fundamentals? They are to football what Amansky was to baseball. Look it up, kids. Fred McGriff was in the commercial.
The TransPerfect Music City Bowl on ABC is brought to you by TransPerfect, Simplify Global Business, and in part by Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Visit musiccity.com.
Anyone who tells me there's too many bowl games or that bowls don't matter, look at the activities this week that these teams got to enjoy here in the greater Nashville area and the great job the folks at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl do putting on this great event. Have so much fun watching it in preparation. Kentucky now their fourth start inside their own 10. Field position, every bit of the battle today as Wade escapes out of there, finds Key. We also want to welcome in Kentucky basketball fans who may have been watching the basketball game today against Louisville. They've got the win 86-63. So if you're tuning in to your football school game, we welcome you here to Nashville. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles with you.
If you're looking for positives, there's another positive gain on first down. A little RPO. They fake the G-scheme run. He pulls the football, gets it out on the perimeter to Dane Key. These are the kind of things that Destin Wade can do. It's just consistency, stringing plays together. Now they got quarterback run.
And that's what you have to do with him. He can do that. You see LaBelle Wright in the backfield. He was the fake first time we've seen Wright back there. Key blocked by Jagger Burton to spring him loose, and a first down. Kentucky gain of 19.
They got quarterback run, get two pullers out on the perimeter. You're going to see the pullers here coming out, leading around the corner. You got good blocks there on the corner against DeJean. Another good block on the linebacker Higgins. You see he's able to get downhill and then get the ball vertical. Make a defender miss. Look, you see it in flashes, and you're seeing it in flashes against a very good Iowa defense. It's just, can they string it together, having to go these long distances on these drives? Which the odds are, no, they can't.
That was their longest play of the day. That's right off the left side. He's been in on this series. Gives them some punch, brought down by Wampa, and a gain of 6.
Now they got a little something going. A little something going. A little RPO to start it off, get a nice gain, get the quarterback out on the perimeter on quarterback run, nice gain. Second and short again.
And look, Lewis, I know they've got their offense, and now Woodward's calling ball plays for the first time, but now you have to get to the point where what can my guys do?
Yeah, exactly.
What can we do?
Yeah. At some point, then you take a shot up over the top, especially if you can run the football with some success, because Berrien Brown has shown I can get behind this secondary.
Wade's going to keep it again, and Iowa's defense right there, and who else? Campbell. Loss of 1.
These
Hey,
plays,
look at his jersey.
just watch him here. You see his initial step? He was already to where the play was going. He was like, look, you can go ahead and mess around with all that ball handling and ball faking in the back, but I've already got a key and I'm already dialed in on where this ball is about to hit. That's just the hallmark of his game.
Kentucky just 2 of 11 on third down. McClain back in the backfield. Wade forced out of the pocket, dumps it down to McClain. Can he get the first? No. Iowa's defense there, and at this point, brought down by Benson. If you're Kentucky, you need to get something going. Just keep the offense on the field.
Sure are. Iowa's sitting in a cover 2 safeties high, play everything top down on that third down play. We'll rally up, we'll tackle it before it gets to the first down marker. Now you're in a 4th and short situation. You gotta get the quarterback out on the perimeter. Don't make him just be this drop back passer here. Get him out on the edge.
So the longest drive of the day, 6 play for Kentucky's. That's going to be a first down for the Wildcats on 4th and 2. Tavian Robinson giving it on the end around and a gain of 5. And so they gamble, they go for it, they convert.
Nice play call there by Scott Woodward. Getting Tavian Robinson coming across the formation. Turn the ball up quickly. Don't keep running laterally.
Lewis, if you know your quarterback doesn't have time, the emphasis to get the ball there and out is key now.
Of course.
Wade the fake, keeps his eyes downfield, tries to take another shot. They've gone at that matchup a few times with Brown getting the best of Sebastian Castro, but again, the ball's not falling in.
You see Barry and Brown complaining about the hand find. Look, they're just going to run a little switch route. Just trying to get him one-on-one against the nickel defender Castro, which they're assuming, given Barry and Brown's fantastic downfield speed, that he'll be able to win. Ball just hasn't been in a position where he can go up and try and make a play for it. He hasn't even had a chance to make a play on the ball.
It's been a defensive struggle throughout. Kentucky, 132 yards total offense. Iowa, 126. But 2 defensive scores have been the difference. Iowa showing pressure. And they are up on the line of scrimmage on Dane Key right after the snap.
You see there Aaron Graves running off the field. He's the freshman 4-star recruit. Look, this guy is just fantastic. You're going to see him right here. Just watch how he comes off the football. Just takes the set. I mean, it's just not even fair what he does to Eli Cox right there. It's not even fair. This guy, you want to talk about another freak athlete? I mean, he is this guy. He's a guy who has over 1,000 points in high school as a basketball player, 4th in the state in wrestling as a senior, Max Prep's male national athlete of the year, and he's not even a starter.
True freshman from Dayton, Iowa, 3rd and long. Wade gonna look downfield, no one there. Robinson and Brown both in the area, and this might be a little too much for Stoops to digest with 4th and 12.
You're gonna have to kick this one away. You wanna play?
I mean, it's like Iowa has 5 other Iowa players that look like the current Iowa players, like Graves, just chilling on the bench.
Yeah.
And they produce who they are.
Yeah, they don't have, look, I mean, Graves is special. He's unique. They don't have a bunch of them. They get a few now and then, but they do a nice job, Matt, as you're alluding to, of developing depth and having players that are very much so similar to one another. When one guy goes down, the next guy comes in.
Nothing going there for DeJean. Ball out at the 16-yard line. So a punt to 41, a return of 2. Iowa offense when we come back to Nashville. Nothing Iowa here at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. If you follow Iowa football, if you don't, you should know they have really, really good tight ends historically. No different today. Sam Laporta ranks #1 in reception among tight ends in history. Luke Lachey, another good tight end. He scored the touchdown in this one. You see Laporta banging through that Kentucky defense. This is a player again. He was hurt, tore his meniscus November 19th. Lachey puts it in for Iowa. Laporta could have easily opted out of this game, Harry Lyles, but he wanted to be right here with his team.
Rooting him. Laporta told me that they ran a press on the opposing team for 20 to 32 minutes of that game that Brian Ferentz attended, and he didn't come out of the game. He said because he knew Brian was there, he was going to go full speed and do everything he possibly could. They won the game. Laporta said he scored around 15 points, but the big joke with that one is that he shot about 5 for 12 from the free throw line. They often joke about that, but the best Laporta basketball player is his sister Alex, who plays professionally in the Netherlands. Sam told me his 2 other sisters, Bella and Liv, are there visiting her now, and they're all watching this game right now. And guys, Sam wanted me to tell you all hello.
We were standing next to Laporta when he was warming up, and he was critiquing his spiral that he was warming up throwing the football. There were more ducks than spirals, nonetheless. Still a hell of an athlete. An incomplete pass there from Labe is a dangerous pass at that. A big hit by Kentucky's defense by Wallace after a gain of 2.
There's Trevin Wallace. We haven't called his name often today, but maybe the most explosive player on the field right now currently. His physical exploits are just ridiculous in terms of his strength, explosion, straight line speed, former high school running back that's just scratching the surface of his potential. Look, Kentucky has a bunch of players like that. They just need to get some other positions fixed, namely quarterback, offensive line. But this defense has a lot of building blocks.
Iowa 0 of 7 on third down. Make it 0 for 8. That was Laporta, brought down by Weaver. Hawkeyes just one drive longer than 3 plays. And when you look at the statistics in totality, Lewis, this game comes down to 2 plays. Iowa ineffective offensively right now.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Kentucky defense, we knew coming into this football game, they'd be up for the task. They knew the people that they had to take care of, and they knew that that was going to be the tight ends. It was going to be Laporta and Lachey. They knew that tight end screen was a big part of their game. Getting these tight ends one-on-one on the outside was a big part of their game. They've given up a few, but they've made a bunch of plays too. It's really just about this offense getting on track.
A flag on the play. The Tory Taylor punt. Robinson back to receive it. Couple of blocks there. Fans want a penalty from Robinson. Takes it outside just across the 50 or shy of the 50. So Iowa fans wanted an illegal block. We do have a penalty flag on the play. Let's see what they call. For now, punt of 58 and return of 20.
Illegal motion, offense. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Kentucky.
So not only was it no flag on the Kentucky special teams, they'll get 5 extra yards because the penalty on Iowa. Monday, 2 of 4 bowl games for you on ESPN. Will Rogers and Mississippi State, that offense, take on Illinois in a stout fee at the Reliant Quest Bowl. ESPN2 coverage begins noon Eastern. On ABC 1 Eastern, dual threat quarterback Jaden Daniels and the SEC West champion LSU Tigers taking on Purdue. Jeff Brom, now the head coach at his alma mater at Louisville, whose basketball team lost to Kentucky today. So Kentucky, this is the best start for them of any possession. Wade gonna play fake, has time, dip that back shoulder to take a shot, everyone covered, and then he just takes off for a gain of 1, brought down by Higgins.
Great team defense on the part of Iowa. He was trying to hit the play-action shot to Barian Brown on the deep post. You're going to see he's trying to run the post, but on the backside, you can see corner Riley Moss come into the screen here in that zone coverage concept to give help to the backside post. I know it all sounds technical, but really, let me just boil it down to you like this. That's how team defense works. That's how good coordination in the secondary works. It takes away some of those combination deep shots off of play action that Kentucky has been looking for.
The result of the play is a second down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 2. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be second down. This is number 2 for Kentucky's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
And Lewis, we've seen Brown have some conversations about some hand checking, and my guess is it just boiled over at that point.
He's getting frustrated. He's definitely getting frustrated. He had a big shot early in the game. Maybe that could have been a game breaker. He had another one against Riley Moss that maybe could have been a game breaker. He's not having enough impact on this game that he wants to.
Empty backfield, Lavelle Wright, the running back, split down to the bottom of your screen. So Wade gonna throw, nice throw and catch there on time to Robinson. Gain of 10, tackled by Benson.
Now they're starting to spread it out a little bit, see if they can get their wide receivers inside on some of these linebackers, namely a guy like Seth Benson. Seth Benson's not a good matchup for a guy like Tavian Robinson in the slot. So they're trying to see, they're trying to work some different things, see if they can find something that this quarterback can get into a rhythm with.
But 3rd and 14 makes that a difficult task. And Kentucky has actually outgained Iowa on offense, just no points to show. Blitz coming. Wade out of there. Keeps his eyes downfield, finds Robinson. That was a good job of the mobility, Lewis, keeping his eyes in the play and finding a player for a gain of about 11.
Yeah, they're just going to run a little bit of a fire zone. drop a D lineman out of them. You see Lucas Van Ness dropping back into zone coverage. They bring Jack Campbell again. They bring Sebastian Castro, trying to confuse the young quarterback. Does a nice job of stepping out of the rush and finding the completion.
Because of the big play, they've got enough to go for it here. 4th and 3, under a minute in the third quarter. Wade to throw, over the middle, caught. And that'll be a first down, Kentucky. That was Dane Key. That was a good job to hold on to that ball because those Iowa defenders are right there to squish it.
You watch the Kentucky tape, you'll see Dane Key can do that. He can make the contested catches in traffic. He's got strong hands. You're going to see Destin Wade just fire it in there. You see he's getting crunched. He's getting crunched in between DeJean and Seth Benson. They just need to capitalize now. They need to put this ball in the end zone, give them something to feel good about.
Quick throw again, batted down. Noah Shannon. 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Wade planted that back foot, tried to get it out, but the defensive lineman's hand's too tall.
Yeah, you can't get there, put your hands up, affect the throwing lane of the quarterback. Just good, fundamentally sound defense. Nothing real revolutionary about it. It's typical Iowa defense. You can't get to the quarterback. Your rush isn't going to get home. Just make it difficult.
Blitz coming. Wade throwing. Incomplete. Intended for Brown. Xavier Wampa, the star true freshman, has had himself an afternoon.
You can see defensive coordinator Bill Parker has really dialed up the pressure on Destin Wade.
A fast third quarter, still 21-0 Kentucky. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC stations. Welcome back to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Iowa up 21-0 over Kentucky. It was nice of Broadway to make its appearance at the game today. They're going to have a big New Year's Eve, those two. She's going to get all nice bass with kettle corn. It's going to go crush tonight. 3rd and 10 now for the Kentucky offense.
We're going to probably play some soft zone coverage.
And at this point, Lucas Van Ness on the tackle. I mean, it's 4-down territory here on out.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now you're on a fact-finding mission really in this sport. And coaches will tell you that why bowl games are so important to them is because they are trying to find out some information heading on into winter conditioning in the spring football and use this as a developmental opportunity for these young guys. And here for the quarterback, for Destin Wade, how are you going to execute here?
Converted on a 4th down earlier on this drive, a 4th and 3. This a 4th and 9. Wade, quick shot, good throw, and it falls incomplete. Had it on Brown, Moss on the coverage, turnover on downs, Iowa.
These corners for Iowa, we've talked about them all game. Pre-game, I talked about how much I liked just the smooth, fluid athleticism of Riley Moss. And again here, you want to know why Berrien Brown has been so upset all game long? It's because he's been losing these one-on-one battles when he has had a chance to make the catch. You see, this is a nice job of just stripping the pocket of the wide receiver, being physical through the catch point. That really conceivably is a catch that a guy of Berrien Brown's capabilities has to make. He has to make those tough contested catches. That's just really been the story of this passing game all afternoon.
So here's Laporta, Wildcat quarterback. And why not? Why not line up the most successful tight end in school history with regard to reception? Let him play a little quarterback at a gain of 6. What have I told you? Kentucky's offense has actually outgained Iowa's offense. 3 drives in the third quarter, all 3 and out. So let's just put in our tight end. He's still out there.
Having Laporta looking over to the sideline like, I got this.
Let's go.
I got this.
Let him throw.
Let me work on my Ronnie Brown back in the old Miami Dolphin days. Do a little zone read.
Why not? Although he made, can we drop and tell? Did he make the right read there, Lewis?
Sure. Why not? Just
Could he have pulled that and kept it?
I think he wants to. You know what? If you're Caleb Johnson, you're probably thinking, can I get a little run? I barely touched this ball today.
Here's the old 22. Give it to me, Lewis.
Let's just see here. What's the end man on the line of scrimmage? Well, he plays it a little soft. 15, Jordan Wright. So yeah, he handed it off. That was the right read.
All right, grade it out. 0 for 8 on third downs. This is where he could be key if he can get a first down. 0 for 8 on the game. 0 for 9.
Look, Kentucky's like, look, you're not going to disrespect us like that. You're not going to put your tight end at quarterback and wildcat us and just move the ball down the field. We're a proud defense too. Quite honestly, look, if I was Kentucky's defense, I'd be ticked. I'd be ticked right now that a team is beating us 21-0. We've outgained them offensively, but we can't score any points, and now they've put their star tight end at wildcat quarterback on national TV. I'd be pissed.
I mean, you are. I'm looking at you.
I am.
I see your.
I'm kind of mad for him.
You are, Lewis. I could tell. So look, the defense did its job again, forcing a punt. Again, the story of this game has been the 2 pick sixes. Iowa scored the 1 offensive touchdown. And David Robinson fair catches it after a punt to 41. So Laporta, the quarterback, has Lewis all fired up. Right now, 21-0 Hawkeyes in the fourth.
Back here at the Music City Bowl. Look, I think for those of you who don't know, I think on social media a couple days ago I had posted the fact that my mom was dealing with some health complications. There's a picture of her at my daughter's graduation party back in the summertime. Well, she passed away the day after Christmas. You see her there smiling in her typical fashion as we were standing outside a restaurant in Center City, Philadelphia. Just want to shout out my family and everyone who's kind of helped me and all my loved ones get through the past couple of days, the people at ESPN who have reached out to me, who've been so gracious with their time and sending their condolences. And look, she was a great woman. We're going to miss her dearly, absolutely dearly. She would have wanted me to come and do this game. She watched everything that I did on ESPN. Football was her favorite sport, obviously. She really had no other choice. And I just want to say thanks to everybody here, especially the family here, that this booth has become. Matt, Harry, Joe. It's been something I'll never forget, and onward we go.
We love you, Lewis. Thoughts and prayers with you and your family.
I appreciate it, man.
Just wade over the middle. For those, you don't know what we do on the road, but it is a family. We go out and have dinners. We have life conversations. We break everything down, and when one of our own is hurting, we hurt with them. And the first thing you said, I'm going to be at the bowl game.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to do this bowl game with you because I know about you. I know what your mother meant to you, but I also know what this means to you and how you were going to be here and you were going to be Lewis Riddick today.
Yeah, man. Football's been my entire life. It's been my family's entire life. Having 3 relatives play professional football along with myself, that's unique, man. That's unique. From a small town where we come from, and my mom had a huge part of that. Raised 2 sons who both played in the National Football League. She wouldn't have wanted me to miss this, and I know she's watching this game, and she's, probably critiquing my outfit and talking about my tie and telling me I talk too much and stop talking about X's and O's, tell some stories.
We are now, Mark.
So here we are.
We're telling your story.
Yeah, there you go. She would have loved this too.
And Myrtle, he is wearing his vest, jacket optional. 3rd down and 4 for Kentucky.
Can Kentucky convert on this 3rd down?
What a play by Sebastian Castro. What an afternoon for 29. And the rest of this Hawkeyes defense 6th sack of the game.
Sebastian Castro has been making plays since the very beginning of this game. And when you can get a young quarterback to hold the football and then start patting the ball and then tapping his feet, and then you just kind of like, it's like a boa constrictor. You just kind of close in on him, man. You just close in on him, and a lot of these times, young quarterbacks like that, then they just either throw the football up for grabs and make mistakes, as you saw Destin Wade do earlier, or they take sacks. They just rarely will throw it away and live to fight another day. It's just been uphill climb for Destin Wade all game long.
10th punt of the game. That one's going to bounce inside the 30-yard line. It has been a defensive game as expected, but Iowa, the 21-0 edge.
The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl on ABC is brought to you by Trans Perfect, simplified global business, and in part by Gaylord Opryland Resort. Everything in one place so you can have it all.
Last 5 champions of the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl, including Purdue over Tennessee a year ago, 48-45 in overtime. That a classic. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles back with you. Kentucky's just set a record you probably don't want to set. Their 10th punts is a Music City Bowl record. And Kentucky, the first team to punt the ball 10 times in a bowl game since Oregon in 2018. Yet they've outgained Iowa, yet they're down 21-0. And because of it, look, say what you want, Kentucky's defense, they got a season-high 8 3-and-outs. They've been good today, Lewis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they have been putting the pads on these guys when they get them boxed in and playing with some physicality, as you see here numerous times with Zion Childress making big plays, Big Deion Walker making a big play. Jordan Wright has made big plays. J.J. Weaver's made big plays. They've all come up and they've really done their part trying to limit this limited Iowa offense, but the offense for Kentucky has just not been able to get anything going.
That a good throw by Labus and a first down to Vines.
That's a beautiful throw.
And a gain of 12.
I mean, you see how comfortable he is outside the pocket. And look, we said it in the beginning of this telecast that he admitted that that's where he's most comfortable. Out on the perimeter, where he can be a dual threat, where if it's not clean for him, he'll pull it down and run it. I mean, this is as good. This is how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to look. Put the ball in perfect location for Vines on the sideline. And again, I've seen him do this in his college tape, rolling right or rolling left. And if you're Brian Ferentz, I mean, look, roll him out more. Let him get some good tape. You know he's not likely going to be the quarterback here in 2023. But this is helping him.
The fake to Patterson. If this is what they did in the opening drive, that's to Laporta. You fake the handoff, you get him on a naked boot, you get him out of the pocket. You got an injured Kentucky player down. Looks like number 95, Jamarius Dinkins. Jamarius Dinkins, the redshirt freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, down on the field for Kentucky. So the first injury here of the ball game will step aside while they tend to Dinkins. Back to Nashville after this. All right, so there you see Jamarius Dinkins walking off under his own power to the Kentucky defense, which has been stout all afternoon, down 21-0, Week 17, big AFC Monday Night Football matchup for you. Josh Allen and the 12-3 Bills taking on Joe Burrow, 11-4 Bengals. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. It's good to be king of the NFL right now.
That's going to be a heck of a game, bro. I mean, Joe Burrow is right now the guy.
He really is.
The guy.
The Bengals started off a little slow. They're right back to where they want to be as Labus takes a shot over the middle. What a catch by Nico. Nico Ragaini with the catch.
There it is. That's the seam ball that he missed earlier to Sam Laporta, and now he hits it this time. You see him, has to put it over the linebacker's head. Ragaini. Yeah, Matt, tell him. I got the pronunciation
Pronunciation's right. Ragaini forever. This year, he changed it to Ragaini. We confirmed 4 times.
That's a nice catch. Nice throw and catch.
He'll be back for a 6th year. That's a good back shoulder throw.
Very
84 to Sam Laporta. And now Labus is just out there spinning the bean.
I mean, he's 12 for 18, 130 yards and a TD. Look, Labus is starting to settle in right now. You know, he does not look like a guy who was nervous. I mean, look at that. I mean, that as soon as Laporta turns around, that ball is right there. That's the kind of stuff you see on Sundays, okay? And I'm not saying all of a sudden, let's slow down. It's Joe Labus isn't a I'm just saying that's the kind of thing that you see. And that has to make Kirk Ferentz happy right now, and Brian Ferentz.
Again, going into this game, and we talked about it with Kirk in the meetings. Coach Ferentz said, Cade McNamara is your guy next year.
Right.
We're not beating around that bush, are we?
Sure.
No, that is correct. Cade McNamara is the guy, transferring in from Michigan. But what you do learn is you learn what you have behind McNamara, and I think Labus has had a nice first start to his career.
Yeah, look, and if you're Joe Labus, look, we know how the transfer portal goes now. These guys can put some tape out there, and next thing you know, they're on the move, and they're going somewhere else, where a team is watching him going, hey, you know what? Maybe they do have something there with this young man.
So Iowa's going to call a timeout before 3rd and short. That's the first of the half. Seemed to be some discrepancy on the play prior. We will step aside. 3rd and 1 for the Hawkeyes when we come back. Lewis, over under 10:30 p.m. for those two.
Way under.
Like, will they see midnight?
Way under.
We know they'll see Broadway.
Well, you know,
will they see midnight?
There's always a chance you could go get a power nap, recharge, catch a second win. You know what I mean?
All right. I've got no chance. And we also have 3rd and short for the Iowa offense. What a stop. Kentucky's defensive line put a hit on Jazz Patterson.
Justin Rogers.
Man, look, the score doesn't indicate it, but Kentucky's defense needs a lot of credit for how well they've played today, bringing up a 4th and short.
Yeah, if you're Iowa, you might want to block him. But no, that's just a nice play. Nice play by their front four. Like this defense, it's quality. It's quality. They played as hard as they could today.
Fake for Labus. He's in trouble. And he's just going to throw that away. So again, the Kentucky defense holds Iowa's offense. J.J. Weaver provided the pressure. And Kentucky's going to get the ball with under 6 minutes here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Agent had Luke Lachey locked up down the field. Just as a smart play there on the part of Labus. Just throw it away then. Look, you know the play's dead. Don't take a sack. Don't do anything stupid with the ball. I like some of the things that Labus has showed, Matt, as this game has progressed, as they continue to turn him loose a little bit.
So a new quarterback now in for Kentucky, Deuce Hogan. Going to get some reps for the Wildcats. And that's Hogan's first throw. Not sure he was out of the tackle box there. Or they said he had a receiver in the area.
Yep, he did.
All right.
Tavian Robinson was over here along the sideline. Look, I think it's just become that kind of game, that kind of, we're at that situation in this game here where let's just find out who else is on the roster, what else do we have.
And Hogan, a transfer from Iowa, from South Lake, Texas, with the Grapevine Faith. Pops it out of the backfield to McClain. Now the quarterbacks with a story coming in because of the young players playing today, but also who's coming in for both programs next year. I mentioned Cade McNamara. He is transferred from Michigan. He will be the starting quarterback for Iowa next year. And Devin Leary, he was the crown jewel of that transfer portal class of quarterbacks. He's going to be here at Kentucky. And that gives, with Kentucky's defense and an upgraded offensive line.
There's the key. There's the key, man. There's the key, the offensive line. Mark Stoops has to make sure that they shore that up. Because I don't care who you have at quarterback. You can go get Patrick Mahomes and see if he has any more eligibility left and bring him back here if you want. It's not going to work if they can't protect the passer. You throw on the tape for Kentucky this year, their offensive line is just getting mauled. And I mean, they can't get anything going in the run game on a consistent basis. Although Chris Rodriguez is freaking fantastic, they can't protect the quarterback. Levis is running for his life. They can't push the ball down the field because they can't. They have to take care of the front five, and then they'll be able to go. Because in the SEC, you know you won't survive without it.
Hogan transferred to Kentucky after last year's bowl game, and that was a good shot over the middle to Dane Key. You see Levis over there on the sidelines as he prepares for his NFL future.
I mean, think about the athletes that you have. And look, those Mike Fires and those Will linebacker Fires, meaning those blitzes coming into A and B gaps, they have been bringing them at these Kentucky quarterbacks all day long. All day. And Seth Benson and Jack Campbell have just wreaked havoc.
Jack Campbell there after a gain of 3. And fans, be sure to tune in to the ESPN app for the Capital One postgame. That will be immediately following the game, as we have under 3:50 here in the fourth quarter. Iowa up 21-0. Hogan to the outside. To LaBelle Wright, no gain.
Look, when we talk to Mark Stoops, think about some of the things that they were fighting all year long here. An offensive line that's underperformed and undermanned. Okay, they have a new offensive play call. They had a new offensive coordinator this year that just didn't work out for them. So there's another thing that threw, things out of whack. And then, Will Levis is dealing with injury. There's another thing on top of it. Will Levis is dealing with the fact that expectations went through the roof for him. So maybe he's trying to press too hard to play, even better than he played in 2021. That's working against him. There's just a lot of things that didn't add up for Kentucky's offense this year. That they're going to have to go back to the drawing board this winter.
You got the quarterback to do it, Leary, as Hogan completes another pass. It is time now for today's Capital One player of the game. You knew it would be someone on Iowa's defense, and it's Jack Campbell. What an afternoon Campbell had.
Yeah, Captain America, Winter Soldier, man. This guy.
10 tackles, a sack, and 2 TFLs.
Yeah, I mean, he's been everywhere. And, give Iowa credit, man. Give defensive coordinator Phil Parker credit. He knows what he does best, and that's when he is coming downhill, straight forward, towards the line of scrimmage. And he can hunt along with his guys like Deontay Craig, who just made the TFL right there.
And a flag at the end of that play. My guess is Kentucky's had about enough.
The result of the play is that the pass receiver was short of the line to gain, so the ball will go over to Iowa first down. After the play, sideline warning, Iowa. This is their first and only sideline warning of the game.
Let's revisit our Capital One player of the game and Jack Campbell. I love it when a player lives up to their advanced billing.
Yeah, look, we said in the open that this guy is a downhill player with good range to the perimeter. You see that? Range to the perimeter, and then he's a heavy hitter. When he blitzes, he has enough speed to track down quarterbacks out on the edge when they try and escape the pocket and run away from him. He's going to be up. It's going to be a lot of interesting discussion between now and the draft when that kicks off in Kansas City this spring as far as what exactly is his projection like in the NFL. But I'll tell you this, as far as today and as far as his college career, you couldn't have asked anything more of him.
Jazz Patterson playing some sweet music there on first down in the Music City, and a big gain. And at this point, Iowa could probably take their time, sit on this one, and celebrate a TransPerfect Music City Bowl victory.
Thinking about this, between Jazz Patterson and Caleb Johnson, 2 freshman running backs, look, they've got some nice building blocks in Iowa as well, not just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side. They have the beginnings. They have a young offensive line that Kirk Ferentz said is going to get better, is going to continue to develop. They just have got to get some perimeter weapons.
They're going to get Levis throw. He's got a man. It's Lachey. And it's incomplete. Lachey had the only offensive touchdown of the game for Iowa. Zion Childress on the coverage.
You're going to see Lachey just run right down the middle of the field. You're going to see the safety right there. Zion Childress got caught with his eyes in the backfield, off of the backfield action, play action fake. Those are the easy ones that have to be easy completions, have to be 6.
Now you wonder if Iowa will just do that. Jazz again. Jazz run. Iowa on the doorstep of a little bowl history. Last Big Ten team with a bowl game shutout. Penn State's over Texas A&M, 1999 Alabama Bowl. Now 1st and 10. Minute left in the game. Labus. Naked boot. Tipped, intended. Lachey was there.
Might have been a touchdown again if he could have got it up over the defender. He might have been able to just scoot down the sideline.
Let me ask you, you brought up the Laporta playing quarterback earlier. Probably getting under Kentucky's skin. Yeah. What about this?
Hey, you know what? If you're Iowa right now, you're trying to just work on some things offensively to, again, use this as almost like a springboard into winter conditioning and into spring practice. Let's just see what else he can keep doing. It's not their job to placate the Kentucky coaching staff and or roster. They're trying to work on some things right here.
And he overshoots the tight end again. That was Lachey.
See, those are the kind of throws, again, those are the kind of throws that have to be completions if we're just really organically evaluating this situation, which is exactly what the coaching staff is doing.
So the redshirt freshman, his first start, 14 of 24, 139 yards and the touchdown. 212 total yards offense for the Hawkeyes, but it was the 2 pick sixes that were the difference in this one. And there's Kentucky. Probably had enough of seeing Iowa run ball plays. This is just the beginning of a busy New Year's Eve of college football. That will do it. Got Michigan, TCU, 4 p.m. Eastern, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, the nightcap, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Georgia, and Ohio State. So Iowa gets the shutout over Kentucky in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, 21-0. Again, you can watch the post-game show presented by Capital One over on the ESPN app. You can also see it right here on ABC. Lewis, what a pleasure it's been this year.
Bro.
Thursday night college football, ending our season here at the Music City Bowl.
This has been a great ride, man. We started off in Pittsburgh with the backyard brawl. What a ridiculous atmosphere that was. Had some great matchups all year long. The Egg Bowl was just fantastic. Our time down at Coastal Carolina, top it off here in Nashville. Look, I mean it when I say this. This group, this unit has become a pretty close-knit family, man. We've developed a nice little chemistry here. I think we have done Thursday night college football a lot of justice. We're hoping a lot of teams want to play on Thursday night footballs and give us a chance to talk about them because we enjoy it, man.
It really has been fun to get out to some of these campuses across the country and kind of wrap it up here with a marquee bowl game on ABC as Iowa ends their season 8-5, shutting out an SEC opponent. Again, the Big Ten, through these bowl games early on, they flexed their muscle. Yeah, they had a rough season in terms of top to bottom. I know they've got 2 teams in the college football playoff, but Jack Campbell and Iowa, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if they had a little more success offensively throughout the season, how good this Iowa team could have been, big picture.
Yeah, more explosive playmaking at quarterback combined with more explosive playmakers. It goes together on the perimeter. You can just produce some chunk plays, man, where you don't have to go on 8-10 play drives all the time. With this defense, come on. You're an easy double-digit win team. You're an easy 10-win team. Easy. And Kirk Ferentz is one of the best. He understands what he's working with. He understands what this team needs, just like Mark Stoops understands what his team needs. We'll see what they do this offseason.
24 years, the head coach of Iowa, longest tenured FBS coach.
24 years.
Think about that in this day and age. There are fan base. There's a couple first-year coaches, I'm not going to name names, where fan bases want that guy out now. First year.
Yeah.
Ferentz is in year 24.
Yeah, what did Mark Stoops say? He said we were in a microwave society, and now we're in like a hypersonic microwave society.
Yeah, microwaves now are slow-cook ovens.
Right.
Let's go down to Harry.
Coach, second year in a row you played Kentucky, got the win. How does it feel?
Oh, great. Our guys really handled the month really well. Obviously played hard today and just really proud of all of them.
Joe Labus came out here, got it done. He said he felt prepared. How'd you think of his performance?
I don't mind telling you, I was a little nervous. I think all of us were, but can't say enough about Joe. Thought he did a great job and, great future. That was a tough month for him, a lot to learn, but I thought he did a great job with us today. Didn't make any critical errors for us, and defense did a great job. Special teams were huge.
And this was Jack Campbell's last game. He had a big game. He's somebody that you said, hey, all the young guys, if they just learn from him, they're going to be all right. What did you think of his performance and just him as a Hawkeye?
I mean, he's an unbelievable person, an unbelievable player. Sam Laporta, Riley Moss, we got some great guys. Those guys are senior leaders, and they mean so much to our program. I'm so happy for all those guys. Always good to go out on a win.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Aaron. Okay.
Harry, thank you. Kirk Ferentz, they're setting up the post-game stage as we speak to award the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl trophy. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles. I know my friends in Atlanta, Joey Galloway, Jesse Palmer, Kevin Nagandi. They were begging for no Phil show. It's a little studio terminology for you. Basically, translating to Galloway not wanting to work. He just wants to do the half times and get out of here. This guy's done some work today. What a legend.
He's going to do some work trying to get that dye out of his beard, too.
All right, as we welcome you to the post-game presented by Capital One, the festivities are about to begin. But first, this message.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, like 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling. You're being too loud. Thank you. Good choice. Ooh, my lucky number.
Earn 5 times miles on flights.
Enjoy your stay.
Going up?
And 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel. Plus, get access to over 1,300 airport lounges.
White wine, please.
And maybe see the one and only Taylor Swift. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Let's go down to Harry Lyles.
Here with Jack Campbell. Jack, your final game as an Iowa Hawkeye. You told me it meant a lot to you just to put on that black and gold one more time, man. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole game, it wasn't perfect, but we kept fighting. I'm just so proud of my team. And just the opportunity to come out here with all these guys, that's what it's all about, and the coaching staff just believing in me and believing in each one of these individuals over here. That's what it's all about. So it was a perfect display of Iowa football today. I'm just so honored to be in that legacy. But these next guys are going to continue to carry it on. But I'm just so proud of my teammates, and hell of a win today. So.
And guys, leaders like you and Sam had said, hey, we trust Joe to come out here and make this start. What'd you see out of him today?
Joe, he's the man. So that's all I got to say. I mean, you come in, you get a win, that's all what it's all about. So.
What'd you think about Sam's quarterback skills?
He's all right. I think I'd look a little bit better back there, though.
Appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry alongside, just got done, finished calling this game. And look, when you set up a game, we talked about the defenses, both Kentucky and Iowa's. You got to give Kentucky's defense a ton of credit. Only one offensive touchdown. The difference, the 2 pick sixes from Iowa's defense, and that's what you've come to expect from this program. They're going to play stingy defense. They're going to play special teams. They got the win here this afternoon.
Yeah, when you turn on Iowa's tape, and I mentioned this to their coaching staff, it's refreshing to see a team that plays with great football body position, great eyes as far as what they're supposed to be looking at. They play with good pad level. They just play the football game hard, fast, fundamentally sound, and it translates to consistent performances like you saw today. That if you don't have a quarterback that is very, very dialed in as far as pre-snap and post-snap reads, and or you have better personnel, you're going to struggle. And that's what happened to this Kentucky offense today.
Let's get into today's Capital One rewarding performance. You just heard from him a second ago with Harry, but it's the All-Everything Butkus Award-winning Jack Campbell who got it done today for the Iowa defense.
6'5", 246 pounds. This is a grown man playing football, man. He hits like a grown man. He has a grown man mentality. Like I said, every coach that you talk to at Iowa says he's too good to be true, meaning he's the hardest worker and he's the best person. The hardest worker, one of the best players, who's also one of the best teammates that they could possibly have. That's exactly in the scouting world at the next level what you're looking for.
Right.
When the hardest worker is the best player, or the best player is the hardest worker, and he's a good person.
And Campbell, obviously, with all the postseason accolades, could have opted out, wanted to play in the black and gold one more week. Same with Laporta. As they continue to set up the stage. Wonder if Harry Lyles is ready for the toss. I guess you find out if you toss it to him.
We're working on it.
All right, Harry. You just
Worked up.
I don't know why, I can just pick out that jacket down there on that stage, Harry.
I tell you what,
you're kind of like standing out. You almost look like you're like made for the red carpet or something.
Hey, I mean, we got to dress up, right, guys? This is what the Thursday Night Crew does.
Yeah, you set the standard. I like it.
Got to.
All right, Harry, whether you like it or not, we're starting the trophy celebration. It's all you.
All right, guys, we're here with team trophy presenter, TransPerfect advisor Bruce Reddit. Bruce, honors are yours.
On behalf of 8,000 employees of TransPerfect all over the world, we're proud to deliver this trophy. Well won.
Thank you, Bruce. First, our guys played great today. I made a critical error yesterday. I said transparent bowl in the media, and this has been a TransPerfect experience, so we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
That's a little chilly right there.
You guys want to take a shot?
Coach, you've been doing this for a while. Another bowl win. Does it ever get old?
Come on.
Yeah, just playing games. Playing games is great. And the great thing about bowl games, it's another month to be together as a team and work together, and then have a chance to compete together. And this is a great group of guys that we've had some challenges this year, but it's been as fulfilling, enjoyable year as I can remember. So just so proud of these guys.
We see the emotion out of you here. We know you've got a great group of seniors here, a lot of guys that have put a lot of hard work and energy into this program. Yep. Just what does that mean to you?
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what you're trying to do is, get guys who are going to show up every day with a good attitude and work hard and stay together. And these guys have done that day in and day out. And just, I think all of us as coaches are extremely proud.
Congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you. Thank you.
Let's get to this MVP trophy, huh? I've got TransPerfect Music City Bowl board chair Yvette White here.
Hello.
The honor is all yours.
I have the honor of presenting to you the MVP of this game. Cooper DeJean. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception for a return, and 7 tackles. Okay.
7 touchdowns sounds good too, though.
Yeah, 7. Okay, 7 tackles, 1 tackle for a return, for a loss, right? And an interception for return touchdown.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Cooper, what was your attitude coming into this game, and how do you feel like your guys played?
Yeah, I think throughout this whole month we've been working for this moment. I couldn't have got this award without all these guys, the defense, the offense. Everybody did their part today, so it was good to come out with the win.
Congratulations. Enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Your 2022 TransPerfect Music City Bowl champion Iowa Hawkeyes, everybody.
Harry, great job. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who was a part of this broadcast, setting up a great day of college football over on ESPN. As we get you wrapped up here on ABC, Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry alongside. Let's talk quickly semifinals. The first game, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, TCU taking on Michigan. TCU's offense against a stout Michigan defense, although J.J. McCarthy and the Wolverines, they can score as well. That's going to be a fun early one.
Yeah, it is. It's a contrast in styles. Although there are some who believe that TCU can bang with the big boys too. We'll find out. I just kind of like the mojo that Michigan's got going. I like the chemistry. I like the attitude of that team this year.
Get me to the nightcap now. Georgia trying to defend. C.J. Stroud and the Buckeyes get a second chance at football life, getting in the playoff as the 4 seed.
Look, we're going to find out about what a high school coach one time questioned, which was my intestinal fortitude when I was in high school. Just how tough are you? How much can you withstand? How much can you bounce back from getting whipped like you did at the end of the year, Ohio State? Can you bounce back against a Georgia team that right now, look, this team knows, this team has championship ilk. They have championship DNA. Let's see if you can go ahead and put together a good performance and shock the world tonight.
But here the Big Ten gets its bragging rights over the SEC. Can Ohio State do the same tonight as Iowa gets their win 21-0 over Kentucky? For everyone that's been a part of this crew, the Iowa Hawkeyes, congratulations, 2022 TransPerfect Music City Bowl champion. For Joe McCoy, the producer, Lewis Riddick, and Harry Lyles, I'm Matt Berry saying goodbye from Nashville. Thanks for watching the trophy ceremony presented by Capital One. There is nothing better than college football bowl games, and we were happy to be a part of this one. Enjoy the college football playoff semifinals.
Trent will trend.